Good morning. It is Monday Morning Motivation once again.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody doing today on this fine St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patty's Day. Who's having some corned beef for dinner? I mean, that's what I'm here for.
That's right.
Yeah, very excited. Get our coffee going.
That's right. You know, I realize the theme is not in any way St. Patty's Day today, so Alexa, set red lamp 1 to green. There we go.
Hey, there we go. That way people can't pinch us through the computer screen and
That's right.
Be upset.
That's right. There's our green for the day. So, how's everybody doing today? Guys, drop in the comments. Let us know you're here. Gotta say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
It is really good to see you guys. We're happy to be here. So, we are talking about what you must know to succeed on keto and carnivore.
Well, that sounds like an important thing.
I think it's an important thing. And honestly, this was something that I don't think we really had under control the first time we did this. Remember, we did keto and carnivore the first time, and I maybe had a little bit of this. I don't know if I really truly understood this.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of what took me off the rails after we did carnivore the first time. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to dive right in, and then we'll say hello to some folks after. So so Ash has let me borrow her phone for a minute. I got a message the other day, and I'm not going to talk about who this is because it's their own it's their own story and their own private information. But I wanted to read part of this message to you guys that I got the other day. It never becomes less impactful for me to hear these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I hear these things fairly regularly anymore. And when I was first starting doing this, my goal was to inspire people and help people. And I just, wanted to make a good impact on the world. And I don't know if at the beginning I felt like I was doing that very much because nobody was watching the channel.
Well, there's me, your parents,
you and
maybe
my mom
Lynn.
and dad, and probably Lynn,
Yeah.
who I see is here, 22Q Cat. So that's probably about it. So I wasn't really able to impact a lot of people that I just didn't have people paying attention. And so now I'm very blessed that I get to impact a lot of people, and a lot of people are watching. And so I hear these kinds of things a lot more regularly than I used to, and it's a real driving force behind why I do what I do. But I just wanted to read this message for you guys, just so you kind of understand where we're coming from and why I'm talking about this today. So the message was from a viewer who reached out, sent me an email, and it says, I wanted to thank you so much for your mashed potato recipe. I've been playing with it, pretty much have it figured out to make potato pancakes, which is something I grew up eating. I know Cindy DeManch also makes potato pancakes out of it.
So good.
Message says, my mom would have them for breakfast with the leftover mashed potatoes from dinner. I couldn't do it without this recipe. I'm a 2-year pancreatic cancer survivor, and what you do on your YouTube with your recipes is a game changer. I went into surgery with a pancreatic adenocarcinoma, and I woke up without the tumor, but also without my pancreas. I was instantly a type 1 diabetic and unable to digest anything on my own. I'm dependent on enzymes and capsules and insulin and a needle. I just want you to know how much your recipes mean to me. They give me back the joy the cancer took from me in the kitchen. Some of my best memories are cooking things with Mom, Grandma, and my siblings. It has been so hard to not be able to share those times or to have family favorites. May God bless you and your wife. You have certainly blessed me. So, first of all, massively heavy on just the information and the impact that doing this kind of stuff can have in a real person's life. And, truthfully, when I set out to create Chris Cooking Nashville, none of this, in my mind, had anything to do with people struggling with cancer, people fighting diabetes, people, like any of that. Honestly, it was just, I just want to inspire people and show them what it is I'm doing and maybe get them to consider a carnivore or even a keto diet. And I really didn't, I don't think, consciously take into account the fact that there are so many people out there who are struggling with these kinds of things. And so I think what really struck me about that message and some others that I have gotten that are similar kinds of stories. There are people who talk about the real impact of health issues in their life, and they always have some similar version of, like this one, the joy the cancer took from me in the kitchen, right? Because there are so many things where you can't eat them. I mean, it's not necessarily good for any of us to eat some of these things, but when you are a type 1 diabetic because you had to have your pancreas taken because of cancer,
Right.
like there's things you cannot eat. I mean, it will destroy your body. So, and this is why this goes so much deeper for me than the things you hear someone say of like, well, food is fuel, it's not this, it's not that. Like, and I get that. But look at the things that we're seeing from all of these people. This one included the memory, the social and cultural element of your food, of being in the kitchen, of cooking with your family, the memories of your mom, the memories of your grandmother, the memories with your siblings. And now you can't make more of those memories with your family, or, enjoy the things that you have set up. And, and this goes back to that thing of whether it is right or wrong that we use those kinds of food that we have in the past that are high carb, that are inflammatory, that are whatever. Whether or not it's right or wrong that we use those for memories is irrelevant, because it's just factual that we do. And if you want to get off of the carbohydrate heavy foods and you want to change your life and change your health, you have to take into account it is not just the foods you are putting in your mouth, but it is the psychology of your brain reacting to that food, and specifically the culture and the social things that are associated with that food. Whether that's right or wrong, good or bad, is irrelevant. It is a fact. It is part of what we deal with. So if that's a real thing, then it's important for us to acknowledge that humanity and understand that there is something deeper to being successful with keto and carnivore than just eating the right food. That's important. That's an important thing. We have to study this. We have to understand, what are the carbs that I need to cut out of my diet? What are the good things I need to include in my diet? What is inflammatory for me? What is non-inflammatory for me? How do I eat so that my body will heal? That's an important thing, absolutely. That is the physiological side of how keto and carnivore work. But there is something else that goes along with this. And this is something that I think, especially me, but the two of us, when we did this the first time, did not take into account. And it's the reason that I started doing recipes. And I have dog hair in my mouth. I apologize.
There?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
No.
There is something else that goes along with the physiological side, and that is the psychology. That is your mind. That is your spirit, your soul, your heart. The thing that makes you who you are as a human being is going to be attached to that, because our existence as a human being is that we wake up and we have to feed ourselves. At some point in time, you must eat or you will not live. That is the way it works. So because we are human, because we have culture, because we have a society, we have created cultural and social norms that go along with that food. Now, they may not be good ones, because we think of all of the stuff that we do around the holidays, the things we eat, the things we drink, and we see the damage that that does to our body. Or we've created a food system where we want convenient, fast, cheap, junk food, and we want to make it hyper palatable and super addictive, and that's what we feed ourselves. And we've seen the horrible, horrible health outcomes of doing so. But that doesn't change the fact that there is a real human element of your mind, of your soul, of your heart, that feels something, that has an identity surrounding the idea that you open this bag of your favorite chips, or you get your favorite kind of soda, or you go eat the mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, or you, like, whatever it is, like all of you can fill this in for yourselves. There are things that matter to you. And I think when you hear people say, just eat meat, salt, water, and everything will go away and you'll get over it and whatever, I think maybe for a few people that's true. I don't think 99.9% of people are capable of doing that. Certainly not in the short term. I mean, that's a long-term goal for most people. And this isn't me giving you an opinion. This is me telling you what hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on a monthly basis tell us. Mm-hmm. I can't do it. I've tried, but with your recipes, it's easier, right? That's a constant thing we hear.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you that I think people can't do it. I'm telling you people are telling me they can't do it. And even if your goal is to get there, you are not going to successfully get there by denying the human side of what makes you who you are. Mm-hmm. You're just not going to be able to do it. Anytime you start to deny someone's humanity and you start treating them like an animal in a cage, bad things happen. Like, look at human history. There's never been a good thing in history that has come from acting like someone is not a human being. It just doesn't happen. So, we are very much attached to the things psychologically that make us who we are. And so when you have a memory that is really important to you, say around the holidays with the mashed potatoes that Aunt so-and-so would always make, or your grandma would make, or your mom would make, or whatever, and you take that away, if you don't find out how you can replace it with something, mm-hmm. and you can't make similar memories with other people because those things are important to you, when you take that away and you forget why you're doing this, because it's all about just what do you put in your body, what chemically is going on with that food inside your stomach, when that's the only thing you think about and you deny all that humanity, it is very easy to stumble. Mm. It happened to us. I've heard it happen to hundreds of other people. We get messages like this all the time, that this is what has kept people from being able to do this successfully. Like, this is a regular thing. So the secret, the must know, the here's what you need to succeed, is you have to understand the human side of who you are and how that's going to relate to keto or carnivore. And one of the things that helps you understand that better than anything is knowing the why of what you're doing. Because if you don't understand why you're doing this, and if you don't look at the good things that come as a result, the only thing you'll focus on is the things you can't have, that you're addicted to, that you want, that you whatever. So for me, cooking in the kitchen, feeding people, telling people I love you by cooking for them, being creative in the kitchen, getting to be artistic and put things out there and experiment with food, and getting to be a chefy kind of cook, like all that kind of stuff, that's important to me. That is an element of who I am. That is part of my identity. And to say, well, all you need is a steak with salt on it, that's the only thing you need to survive. Yes, from a physiological standpoint, you're right. I absolutely do not need any of those recipes. My soul needs those recipes. Because if I'm not doing that stuff and I take away this huge piece of my identity, well, then what do I have left? Mm-hmm. Right? I don't want to be just an animal that eats meat, salt, and drinks water and is like, well, that's what's best for me, and then feel like I have lost an identity. And whether that's right or wrong, again, is irrelevant. It's just factual. I've already tried meat, salt, and water, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing as an elimination diet. And if you're a person who finds you're very successful that way, and you want to stay there, I think that's great, because maybe the things that are important to you aren't affected by the meat, salt, water thing. I find that the people who are very successful in meat, salt, and water probably weren't very good cooks in the first place. And it's not something that they really cared to do. And that's okay. Like, you don't have to be a good cook. Like, it's not a requirement that you must learn to cook chefy type foods. That's not in any way a thing. But the thing that's really important to understand is just because it doesn't matter to you doesn't mean it doesn't matter to someone else. And I've actually had a number of people who are professional chefs that have commented on the channel and they say, I really appreciate you doing these recipes because I'm a chef and I had lost the joy of being in the kitchen. This message we got from this person that emailed us, they lost the joy of being in the kitchen. Like, there are people who this part of their identity is important and they want to take care of their health, but they don't know how to just give up things that are important to them up here.
Yeah.
So if you can put things in your body that physiologically are not causing a problem from a biochemical standpoint within your body, which is a closed biochemical system, if you put good ingredients in there and you do not cause issues with whatever's going on internally, well, then the playing around in the kitchen, the external stuff, that is totally up for grabs. That is like, okay, so let's figure out how we can do that, and let's figure out how to have fun with this. And, you know, there are, sometimes you see comments where people say, well, carnivore is supposed to be simple. For some people, it is. For other people, it's not. And the simplicity of chasing down your prey on foot and shooting an arrow into it or jumping on it or using a spear or whatever it was you did, and then cleaning it and processing it into chunks and transporting it back to your village and figuring out how to preserve or store it as best you could to try to, you know, have it there as long as possible. That is not a simple process. If you've never hunted and killed something and then had to clean your own meat, that is not simple. I don't think the concept of carnivore is about it being simple. I think the concept of carnivore is about doing what's best for your body. But all of that takes place within the culture and the society that we have currently. And when you try to pull those two things apart without taking into account what's important for people's culture and their identity and their why they're really doing this kind of stuff, you are denying the very human element that makes them successful at things. So the must know is your why, your identity. What are the things that are important to you? And if it's not important for you to be in the kitchen, you may very well enjoy meat, salt, and water and have no problems whatsoever. And I think that's great. And if you come from a family where, you know, everything is like the pre-made stuff, or like you cater in the holidays or whatever, because I know there's families out there that do that. That's fine. Being in the kitchen and having food memories like that may not be part of what you've experienced in your life. And so your identity and your humanity may have nothing to do with the food. And that's totally fine. But we can't discount that there are other people who do feel that way. It's important that we understand that there are people that do feel that way. So if those people feel that way, what can we do to help them not feel lost, not feel like they are giving up their identity? How can we help them find their why so that they don't eat junk food in an attempt to appeal to that identity, to that humanity?
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do. That's the recipes. That's the whole point of the channel. That's how I'm trying to help people. And it's important for me because being able to go in the kitchen and cook and tell people I love them by cooking for them has been a really important thing that makes me feel like I have joy in my life again. And that's how I stay stable doing carnivore on the dirty side of carnivore, maybe leaning keto or ketovore, you know, from time to time. That's what has kept me stable doing it, to where I'm not going off the rails and struggling with the food addiction like I did the first time and all those things. That has kept me stable. Part of my why is I want to be healthy so that I can take care of the people around me that I love and that I can do things like cook for them. Because I'm gonna tell on you a little bit, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Open book.
I love my wife dearly. She is an amazing woman, and I am a very, very blessed man. This woman cannot cook.
Nope. And I don't want to.
She can cook. Like, she's done it a few times for me when she's like really felt like she had to or wanted to for whatever reason. She hates to cook. She hates cooking. Right? The first time I saw her eat anything that was not us going out to dinner the first time we went out on a date. The first time I saw her eat anything that wasn't cooked by someone else, she put frozen dino nuggets on a cookie sheet with frozen Ore-Ida French fries. And we were talking about this last night, and I said we were having dinner last night, which is this amazing dry-aged picanha that I made for us. And we're sitting there having dinner, and we were talking about that first time I saw her cook anything, which was these dino nuggets. And I said, I could have even gotten on board with the dino nuggets. That would have been fine. I was like, the fact that you didn't preheat the oven and you just put frozen nuggets and frozen fries on a cookie sheet and stuck them in an oven cold and then turned it on, I was like, it just hurt my soul. Because I was like, man, you want to talk about like some soggy, dried out, like French fries and nuggets from the freezer. I mean, like, that's the way you do that. And, when she was talking about it, it was like, at the time, she was in survival mode, working crazy hours, touring constantly, like, doing all this stuff. That
probably would have been the first meal I would have eaten today. And it's like I was so hungry at that point.
Right.
All I had on my stomach was just caffeine.
Probably alcohol after
maybe
you got
sugar.
home. Sugar.
Yeah.
Like all of these, just horrible health habits that she and I were both so guilty of at the time. And that was the first food she'd had all day. She didn't care about the quality of it. She just wanted to eat it, and just because she needed to get something in her body. Mm-hmm. And I take so much joy and so much pride and so much pleasure in cooking things for my wife to enjoy. Mm-hmm. Because I know she hates to cook, but she loves to eat.
This is true.
She loves good food. She just hates the process of cooking it for herself. So I take a lot of joy and a lot of pleasure in getting to make those things for her. So if I'm trying to eat for myself and I'm trying to help her eat in a way that is good for both of us, and you take away my ability to cook and to enjoy cooking, how am I supposed to have that piece of my identity of I cook wonderful things for my wife because she hates to cook, but she loves good food? How do I address that part of my identity? That is part of my why. That is part of why I do what I do. I want to be healthy, and I want to be able to be clear and to be around and do all of these things for her. But you can only cook a steak so many ways.
Right.
And so getting to have these experimental recipes and not every day, it's like a once a week kind of thing or something, but having these experimental fun recipes, that is a massive amount of joy that I get from being able to do that for her. Mm-hmm. And having that purpose and having that call makes it easier for me to be stable. It's part of what makes me successful.
Yeah.
So that's maybe one example. I think there's a lot of others. As a result of this, we've been very successful. We are stable. We understand the reason we do this, between the health benefits of music being better and having the energy to tour and helping people on this channel and getting messages like that and being around for our friends and our family, and we're helping other people. Ash is actually mentoring some ladies regarding like how to get started in keto for the first time, and like these things we're doing to help all of these people. Like, these are the why. These are the successes. These are the things that keep us focused and positive and motivated to continue doing this. It's why we have live streams every Monday. It's why I cook on a live stream every Tuesday night. It's why we do the recipe videos every week. Like, there's so much work that goes into this, and there's a good reason we do it. And that is why we do this, and it's what helps us keep fighting. Even on those days when it's like we're stressed, we're struggling, we're super busy, we're whatever it is, why do we keep doing this kind of stuff? Because we remember the success we're seeing in the community, we remember the success we see in our own lives, and we just keep chasing after it. And sometimes that means it's a recipe, and sometimes that means it's beef patties and eggs, but it's whatever it is, it's the best thing that we can do to move forward and try to be successful. So I'm going to let you talk about any thoughts you have on this, but while she's doing so, if you guys would put in the comments, what is your why? And what are your successes that have kept you going? And this doesn't mean you have to say, I've lost 130 pounds and I've gone down 7 pant sizes. Like, that's all great. And if you have, please put that in the comments. But if you go, I woke up one day and my back didn't hurt and I was able to go play with my grandkids. Or
It's a win.
I woke up one day and realized I slept really well through the night for the first time in years. Or I woke up and went to the doctor and my A1C had come down 4 points. Or, whatever it is. Any little thing. I would love for you guys, tell us in the comments, what are your successes? What is your why? Why do you do this? And what success are you seeing that inspires you to keep going? Drop that in the comments because we'd love to take a look at it and just share what's going on so that we can inspire other people too.
Yeah.
And while you guys are dropping that in the comments for us to take a look at, I would love to know if you have any thoughts about this.
I do, yeah.
Because I have some coffee to drink while we talk.
Please, drink up the coffee. Yeah, I totally agree that I think that this really is the must-know secret to succeed at keto and carnivore. Because like you said, the first time we did it, we did not have that. And we ended up basically falling off the rails and then had to get back on. But when we got back on the second time, we did have it. So I think knowing your why, like why you're doing this, what is important to you, it kind of all comes down to knowing who you are and what's important to you. And kind of the little analogy that I think may kind of help really kind of explain this to people is there's a big difference between a diet and a lifestyle, right? So you have a lot of people that try something for, say, 30 days, like a Whole30. Oh, I'm going to do this crazy diet for 30 days. And, then you just go right back eating to your standard American diet ways. And so we kind of see this big yo-yo effect in especially American society where it's like, I do this crazy diet for 30 days and I'll lose a bunch of weight. But then I, can't do that forever. So I just go, back to doing what I was doing. And then I gain the weight back. And then it's this and then it's that. And so we see that. And so I like to think of this as keto, carnivore, just proper human diet, the spectrum of that. I think of it more as like a lifestyle because I think for some people, you can't really go back to eating a standard American diet.
Right.
Nor, I think when you realize how good you feel on this, would you ever want to? I mean, now we may be tempted to do it from time to time, but to eat this way every single day, like burgers and hot dogs and all, no way, man. No way. We know how that makes us feel. It doesn't work. So I think no matter if you just started keto, carnivore, whether you have done this for years, I would caution, like, make sure you know your why. Make sure you know why it is you're doing this. Because I kind of think of this analogy of a car. When you first start keto and carnivore, it's kind of like you're just driving around and you don't really know where you're going. You don't know if it's really going to work for you or like, I don't know. I'm just kind of tooting along, eating a lot of bacon and, trying to kind of figure all this out. And you may be enjoying the road. You might be enjoying it, being like, man, I feel great. This is awesome. But if you don't know where you're going, well, then that's a totally different. Because if you get in the car and you're eating your proper human diet, but you know that, well, this is my why, and this is where I'm going, and this is my goals, and these are the places I'm going to stop. This is my end goal. Well, that puts it in a totally different perspective. Right? It's kind of like a lifelong journey of you just knowing you want to make these stops and these goals. So maybe a stop is, man, I want to lose 100 pounds. Maybe it's, I really want to play with my grandkids. I also think, it's kind of knowing, like, it's different for people, but like you, cooking and all is just how you show love to people. So for you to sustain, a proper human diet, you really do have to be able to go in the kitchen and cook and do elaborate things.
Yeah.
If I was not married to you, I would be totally like the purse bacon girl. Okay. Like I would not, I wouldn't, I would not do that. But that's me because my why has to do with being productive, efficient, and succeeding at certain things, has to be with the mental clarity. Like these are the reasons why I eat this way is because it makes me feel this way in order to be better at all these things that are important to me. For you, it's being sustainable and yet getting to do what you love. And that's what makes it sustainable. And then you share that with other people and it's helpful. So I think just knowing your why though will really be able to help you stay on track. And we've also talked about it before, the whole bug on the windshield analogy. Yeah. So it's kind of like if you're driving along and, enjoying the ride and then, it may happen. Maybe you eat something and you go, oh, I really didn't want to do that. Or maybe you have a plan or something like that. Just treat it like a bug on the windshield, wipe it off, and you go right back. You just keep on driving to your next stop, your next goal.
Absolutely.
But I think knowing your why is just so important. I also think a lot of times it's really easy to get caught up in this this idea of if I go switch my diet to a proper human diet, I will, miss this and I'll miss that. And you kind of start to think about all of the things that you're actually giving up. Yeah. But sometimes I think we don't really stop and realize all of the things that we actually get back or gain when we eat this way. And that is totally different. Yeah. Very big thing. So maybe you eat a standard American diet and you couldn't move. But by giving up carbs and sugar and, cleaning up, even if you're not completely perfect, great. By doing that, well, now you can get up out of bed and you can go walk around the block. You can go play with your kids, your grandkids, So, think of the things that you're able to get back instead of what you're giving up. And I think if you have that mindset, your why, I think it kind of just sets people up to succeed.
I agree.
Yeah. It's great.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. There's a lot of really great information that you all can share with each other, share with us, we can share with you, etc., to support each other in figuring this out. And if you guys see the little scroller across the screen down here, we're talking about the private community that we have.
Yeah.
This is part of why we do that, because we go in there and we support each other and talk about, here's what I'm eating, and here's what I'm doing, and here's my win. And I know that Mr. Jeffrey Cox is here, although he's in between visits with patients, I believe he said, but he's one of our members over there who I think really embodies this understanding your why.
Yeah.
And also then shares that with other people and helps support other people. And that's what we want for all of you. We have so many great members in the private group over there. We'd love for you guys to come join. It's not very much, and it's really cool to have a community, because community is the thing that makes this so much more sustainable. Because, knowing your why is great, but being able to share your why with other people who can celebrate with you when you're achieving your why, that's really important. And it's one of the things that we do. It's why we do this live stream, but we go much more in depth with people in the private group. So that is linked down below for you guys if you'd like to join. But let's see who's here and see what you guys are saying today. Rick Charger Mopar was number 1 here today. Says every day alive is another win, and I could not agree more, Rick. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And there's our good friend, Mr. Jeff Cox, says, good morning, you two beautiful souls. We'll be listening not in real time, again, between visits. So excited. Granddaughter and possibly daughter will be joining me in Richmond to see y'all in May.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to see you at that show. That's going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
We're going to meet the whole family, man.
Yep, that's right. I love it. The whole family, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Lynn is here, says it's Monday again. Wouldn't miss this. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Extreme sunshine here.
Ooh, Lynn, I'm jealous.
Love it. Love it. Janelle is here, a rock star moderator, says top of the morning, y'all.
Top of the morning.
Kathleen is here. Oh my gosh, 2 minutes to go, and it looks like I'm actually going to catch a live. Woot woot.
Wow, that's awesome.
We're glad you're here, Kathleen.
Yes.
Here's one of our group members, Lewis Stone, says, howdy y'all, just loving life and doing it wrong in Northern California.
That's awesome,
Love
Lewis.
It. Lewis has this whole thing. You guys can see his logo there on his thing he's working on. He was talking with us about this in the band, but he's developing this doing it wrong because he does carnivore just the way that works for him, and it's all wrong, but it works kind of thing. So he's like creating logos, and he's going out and inspiring people with this. It's amazing.
He's doing it right.
Correct.
That's what I heard.
Correct.
That's what I heard.
That's
good for you,
absolutely
Lewis.
The case.
We're so glad you're here, my friend.
Yep. Jackie is here, says, good morning. Got to remember to wear some green today.
That's right. We're not wearing green. We're guilty. Sorry.
That's right. And Janelle Ash agrees with you here. All I can say is I'm glad corned beef is carnivore.
Yes, Janelle. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
I have one in the fridge right now. Yep. My mom is here. Hello, Mom. Hi, and ISS. Our neighbor Richard Williams is here in Copperhill. Hello,
Richard.
Neighbor.
Hello.
There's another one of our band members. Good morning from Stephen Stone.
Hey, Stephen.
Lorraine is here. Woohoo! Hello,
Hi,
Lorraine.
Glad you're here.
And Aunt Kay is here. Carnivore Kay.
Hi.
Jackie says my device tried to comply but was confused. That's fantastic.
That's funny.
Gotta love it. I'm always so careful about saying that name unless I'm really trying to do something.
Right.
It's a weird thing, isn't it? What a weird world we live in with all the technology.
It is.
Time Traveler Karen is here from Connecticut. Good morning, Karen.
Hello. Good morning.
Robert Hanna, good morning.
Hey, Robert.
Jiggy Vision. That's a fantastic name. What's going on? Checking in from Delaware. Well, Jiggy, it's good to see you.
Yeah, love that name.
And there's Sherry Nevada Pup. Happy St. Patrick's.
Hi, Sherry.
My dad is here. Papa Nashville here on both channels. Hello, all.
Aw, hello.
And my mom says, I read an interesting theory recently that claims leprechauns are just Santa's elves that got caught drinking on the job. Who knew?
That's funny.
I gotta love it. Cindy McLaughlin is here. Happy St. Patty's Day from
Cindy.
Florida. Janelle says that is an amazing story we read.
Really
it really,
is.
really is.
Yes.
It really, really is. Lynn says, yes, potato pancakes with your mashed potatoes are wonderful.
I have to try that.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
DJ Magic Man is here. Good morning, Matt. Good to see you, my friend.
Morning, friend.
Truth Teller is here. Hello.
Hi. Like the username.
Purple Lovin' Nana is here. I believe that's Debbie. Late notification. Just joined. Hello, Ash and Chris.
Hello.
Good to see you,
Good
Nana.
morning.
John Long is showing up late. Having to leave soon, but just wanted to say hi. Can't wait to try the new biscuit recipe.
Awesome.
Yeah. You're going to love that one, John. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yes, those biscuits are so good.
So good. There's our brother Barry Weems. Good morning, Chris and Ash. Hope you're having a blessed day.
Oh, hello, Barry. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, hope you're feeling good, Barry. How are you doing, my friend? I know
Yeah.
we've been talking about that, so let us know. Kathleen says, so glad to catch y'all today. Oregon says, hi.
Hi.
Thinking for myself. Man, there's a skill that people need to develop sometimes on the internet. I love this. That's so true. My issue was salmon patties during Lent. I can't have pork on Friday and Sunday, so I made your crackers, and wow, game changer. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. You're so welcome.
That is so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Lacey is here. Says, morning, Chris and Ash and chat. Lacey, how are you doing? How's your carnivore stuff going? I know we were talking about that.
Yeah, sure.
Christy Brown is here. Hi, Christy. And she has a fantastic question. What sort of stuff can we expect in the private community?
A lot. For starters, you can basically, we have different corners set up in there. We have lots of content. But for starters, you can actually message Chris or I directly. Any questions or anything you may have. Also, you can message any of the other people that are members of the band. Yeah. So let's say, like for example, we have a lot of people that have different issues, like maybe a gastric, sleeve, where they're asking questions like, "What do I do?" Well, maybe Chris and I can't relate to that, but hey, here's someone who does.
Yes.
We also put in a bunch of extra content. It can be, and not just Chris and I, it's everyone in the band. So it's everything from memes to recipes to here's what I eat. Hey, I have a question. I'm struggling with this. What do you guys recommend? Hey, I have this really cool success story I want to share with you. We also do behind the scenes things where you actually get to know what recipes are coming out or what we're working on.
Yep, it's the first place we announce it.
Yep, before anyone else. We also are going to actually start doing some live streams there in the band where we actually bring people in, and just for the band, the private community, we actually do live streams in there for them. We also do quarterly giveaways.
Yep.
So this past quarter we gave away a total of 10 prizes, including an air fryer, a brand new air fryer.
Somewhere.
I was going to say, you're looking for it?
Somewhere around here. It's probably in the closet. Our next private giveaway live stream in the band, we're actually going to give away, I have this electric 2-burner, like portable stovetop kind of thing. It's like an electric stovetop, right? It's got 2 burners on it. Great for travel, great for RVs, great for like if you got a little, out in the garage kind of thing, you want to set something up, whatever, it just plugs in, it's electric. And I did a product review and got that thing like almost a year and a half ago, almost 2 years probably. I've used it like twice. I just don't have a use for it. And it works great. It does a great job, but it's just like, it's stuff like that it's like, I don't need this.
So we give it away.
I'm happy to do the review videos if it's a product that I think people could really use or that would be helpful to people or whatever, but there's no need for me to keep a bunch of stuff like that. So we love being able to give stuff like that away in our private group.
The other, I think, big perk in there, because, and like I said, when I said a lot, there's a lot of really cool extra stuff in there and things you're able to do. The other cool thing, though, is from time to time, if you watch any of Chris's recipe videos, maybe he'll make a sauce or something like that, and you'll hear him say, I'll send this to my band. So you also get like extra private recipes to things like tartar sauce or different things. It depends. But Yeah, there's a lot going on there, and great community people, wonderful folks. It's $10 a month. So if that's something that interests you and you're like, hey, I can afford that, just go to chriscookingnashville.com.
Yep.
The description and the show notes should have a link to it as well. But yeah, that's it.
Yep.
All kinds of stuff going on. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. The private group is also the first place you guys are going to start hearing details and sneak peeks of things out an upcoming cookbook a certain person is going to start working on.
Let me...
Yeah. I also have a couple of other things. We're going to be filming a cooking crash course. I believe we'll probably offer a discount for the band members if they would like to download that when it is done. It's going to be a cooking basics, cooking crash course to set you up to be successful in a keto and carnivore kitchen. It'll probably be like a 10-part video series, and it'll be available for download from my website when we get it done. And it's going to help us fund making the cookbook. And it's going to be a few bucks. It's not, we're not going to ask you guys for like $100 for this. So it's going to be a few bucks, but we'll probably give early access and a little bit of a discount to our band members on that. And it's just different things like that. Anything we can do to provide you guys with extra benefits and support,
tools, resources.
And,
yeah.
So, and also, if I get a direct message from someone in the private group, it has gotten to a point, I'm having a hard time keeping up with the messages, the emails, the social media, all of it. So I'm doing the best I can to keep up with stuff, but I just can't get back to everybody anymore. There's we're at 100 and almost 125,000 subscribers. We'll probably hit that today. So, I just can't keep up with everybody's messages and comments anymore. If you're in the band, if you have questions, you want to talk, you want a recipe info, you need me to diagnose why a certain recipe didn't work, you want to know if I've thought about creating a certain recipe, you want to have input on recipes we do in the future, any of that kind of stuff. You get direct access to Ash and I for those kinds of things, and I prioritize getting back to my band members because it's because of them that we can actually continue doing this and afford. And I really want to try to honor their willingness to support this so that we can help people by making it a priority to get back to them. So it's a really important thing. So we love our band and we want to take care of them. And if you guys have other ideas of things you'd like to see us do in the band and be like, this would be really helpful and cool if you did this, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do things. So
it's just a big party over there, man.
Yeah, it's like a big screwed up family.
Pretty much.
That's what we are.
Yeah,
But you get people like Jeff is a good example who are in there and he's talking about I did this with this patient today and here's how I helped them and we took all the seed oils out of their house. I brought in ground beef and beef tallow and they share things like that and they help, here's things I'm doing with my family or here's, whatever. My parents are in there. Keto Simple, Dustin.
He's
and Southern Keto, Victor, they're both in there. Pastor Bob is in there, has his own little thing where he talks about his success with Carnivore. There's just a lot of people that have really amazing stories that are in there, and you can get advice and help and all kinds of things.
Yeah,
so it's really cool. So that's a great question, Christy. Thank you for asking. And if you guys want more info, please let me know. But the link is in the description box below this video. It says our new private community, and you can click it. It'll take you right there. So yeah. Rockin' Keto. Amy is here, says good morning.
Hi, Amy.
Lacey says, I crashed this last week. Stress with my husband's job. I guess I still have to work on my relationship with food, paying for it right now with migraine. Lacey, it's okay.
Lacey, I'm so sorry.
I get it. I've done it too. And this is the thing. This is why we're here. This is why we support each other, because you're not alone. And you're not a failure, okay? That's the thing you have to realize. You're not a failure. You're going through the process of reestablishing a better relationship with food. And it takes time and it takes work and you struggle from time to time and you're not always going to be perfect at this, and that's okay. You shouldn't expect to be perfect at this. Just do better today than you did yesterday. And if you go, oh, I've got a migraine, this is awful, I feel so terrible, remember that. And then the next time you're tempted to have those things, you go, oh, I remember that migraine. Start making the association between not feeling good and eating those things.
Yeah.
And that really will help you, because it's tough. And yes, we have to work on how do we make ourselves more stable in understanding this stuff.
Sure.
It's part of what we do. So Lacey, you're doing great. We love you. just get right back on that train. You're doing fine, and let us know if we can support you. Our brother Dustin from Keto Simple is here. His ears must have been burning.
I guess so.
He dropped a $2 chat in. Thank you so much, Dustin. We appreciate you. Says, good morning, loves.
Thank you.
Morning, sweetheart.
What a sweet man.
What a sweetie.
What a sweet man.
What a sweetie.
He's the best. He really is. He's great.
Yes. If you guys don't subscribe to Dustin over at Keto Simple, please go subscribe. He's an amazing human being as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, he is part of the private group. So if you want to come chat with him in there, you can. Let's see. John says, along these lines, I was hanging out with friends Friday and they got pizza, so I had to have the inevitable conversation about why I didn't have any. It was fine, no pressure, but still felt awkward. I totally get it. This is the thing. We end up in these situations where socially it's like, how do you explain this whole thing, right?
Sure.
And this is why if you tell them like, hey, this is for my health and I feel a lot better and blah, blah, blah. And look, here's a carnivore pizza crust. And you get to partake and it makes it less awkward. It makes it easier to do this stuff. And you might even have them try a bite and they go, oh, that's pretty good. Maybe I can do this whole carnivore thing. I mean, you never know.
I also know some people have said, they've told us that like when you're in a situation like that where maybe you can't make Chris's carnivore pizza or whatever, a lot of restaurants now will have like pizza bowls where like basically no crust, and maybe it's not perfect and clean, but it's like that's an option, or just scrape off the toppings and the cheese and stuff like that. And
absolutely. Good for you, John, though, for having that conversation and doing it. That's great.
It's really awesome, man.
Thinking for myself says, most of the time I'm meat, eggs, and butter, but then my cheat is your recipes. Not really cheating. Healthy cheating.
Healthy cheating. Yeah.
I love that. And that's a great way. It's
a
great way to use those recipes. You don't need to eat them every day. You don't really need to eat them at all. But if you feel like doing it once in a while keeps you happy and stable and it's fun,
then do it.
Do it. Have fun. If it makes you stable and it helps you, great. Janelle is so sweet. She is also part of our community, and she says the community is a friendly, supportive place where we chat. I'm sure Chris will tell you more when he reads the comments. Absolutely.
Nice.
Cindy is here, another rock star moderator, and just honestly the extension of the Chris Cooking Nashville family. We have so many aunts and uncles and just grandmas and like all sorts of different things that we've adopted, and Cindy is just part of the big adopted family too. Says, good morning everyone, happy St. Patrick's Day. Just put corned beef brisket in the crock pot, having cabbage later today.
Cindy, I'm on my way.
That's right.
I'm coming over.
Love it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Love it. Jolene is here, says, good morning from Connecticut.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jolene. It's good to see you. And Jiggy Vision says 100% right, brother.
That's right.
Cindy thought about radishes but decided to just keep it at cabbage. I can't say as I've ever had radishes with corned beef.
I haven't either.
But that's an interesting combo. I bet it'd be good.
Yeah.
I bet it would be good. Holly Springer's here. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning.
Let's see. Lorraine says, I've loved learning to cook correctly and am now 124 pounds at 66 years old.
Good for you.
Amazing.
That is awesome.
That is a rock on for Lorraine. Amazing.
I love these effects.
They're so great.
Fun.
They're so great.
They're awesome.
Let's see. Sunny is here. Sunny Chronicles says, hi,
Sunny.
Chris and Ash. Good to see you, Sunny.
So glad you're here.
Jackie says, I didn't even think of the CCN mash. If I'd had a quart of egg whites, I would make some to go with the corned beef. Maybe I'll send Hubs out for that later. That would be
awesome.
a great combo.
That would be awesome, yeah.
For sure. Let's see. Kitchen Witch says, I had to make shepherd's pie on Saturday for 150 people.
Oh, gosh.
Whew, that is rough.
Bless you,
That is rough.
friend.
Now, Kitchen Witch, if you didn't know, I actually have a carnivore version
of shepherd's pie.
And it's easier to do keto because you can add in some of the veggies and that kind of stuff. But if you take the veggies out, you can do even like a carnivore version using my mashed potatoes. I've got a video of that if you haven't seen it. So if you want some shepherd's pie, but you don't want the version I'm assuming probably made a normal version for 150 people. You want some shepherd's pie, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
It is really good. Man, kind of make me hungry.
I'm telling you what. Jackie says, I accidentally made my CCN Ritz crackers too small, so now they're like oyster crackers for soup. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute, though.
And that's the thing. You can make them like little oyster crackers and throw them in soup. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Lacey says, thank you to everyone that said a prayer for my husband and myself last week. There was even what I would call some divine justice the next day. Amen and hallelujah.
Right on.
Jeff says, haha, I'm a meat, salt, water guy, plus dairy and coffee, and I'll have you know I'm an excellent cook. I just use those skills now for my family and have my steak without the sides. And that's great,
That's
Jeff.
amazing, though.
That is fantastic. See, Jeff is a good example of so for him, eating steak, salt, water, he feels really good.
Yeah,
and it doesn't affect his identity. And he also doesn't try to make everybody else be that way. He just tries to feed them the healthiest that they can be.
Right.
And it's like, so for Jeff, for whatever reason with his psychology, he's very happy with meat, salt, water. And he also understands other people might not be, which is why he is such a supportive and wonderful member of our community.
It's also good, Jeff, we're using you as the poster child today. Thank you so much. But
that's right.
Also a great example of someone who clearly understands who they are themselves and what their why is.
Yeah.
And so when you know what your why is, then you're essentially just better able to help others around you.
And it's also why he can go out and work with the patients that he works with. And he goes, part of my why is not just my own health, but my family's health. And now I can teach others
Helping
how to do this.
Right.
And it's like, I can't imagine the amount of joy and fulfillment that comes in Jeff's life from saying, hey, patient that I'm working with, let's change your life and let me tell you how. And the doctors aren't going to tell you this, so let me show you the real information, the real evidence in my life, and would you consider maybe making some small changes and changing your own life?
Yeah.
And because he's told me he's had several people starting to do this, I believe including his boss.
That's amazing.
So really, really cool.
Super cool, man.
Really cool. But that's how we change the world one plate at a time, guys.
That's right. That's right.
Jonna is here, says good morning from Alberta.
Good morning.
Jackie says, cracker pro tip, I make a full recipe batch with 8 ounces of cream cheese, pipe as many crackers as I have patient for, then make waffles out of the rest of the batter.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really, really cool, yeah.
I love that.
And Cindy says, that's how we used the Ritz as well on chili and soup, etc., as well as just having crackers.
I
love it.
Yeah.
Lorraine says, you two are, I believe she means so loving. Well, thank you, Lorraine. We're just trying to take care of people. We just love you guys. We really do. That's just who we are. And anyone who's come over to our house as a taste tester or been here for dinner or any of that kind of stuff can tell you. It was funny, we had some taste testers come over and they said they were talking to friends about coming over to do this. And they were like, you're going over to their house? And they were like, yeah. And it's like, have you ever met these people? No. And it's like, we just open our door. Come on in. We'll feed you. Mm-hmm. It's just who we are.
Sad update. The coffee's gone.
Lacey says, I love potatoes. I'm never going to not like them. Will I never eat them again? Unlikely. But I limit them as much as I can because, well, they make me fat.
Yeah, I agree.
Same, Lacey. Same
here.
When I was a kid, my grandma used to make my birthday dinner. My grandma, it was my mom's parents. It was my mom and dad and my mom's parents and myself living in the same house most of my life growing up. And my grandma, actually very similar in personality to Ash. I think it's one of the reasons I liked Ash so quickly, because there's things that she does that remind me of my grandma. And my grandma was a very special lady. And she would give anyone the shirt off of her back or do anything for anybody because she loved people. And she would also tell you right to your face what she thought. Because she was always like, not telling you the truth is not loving. Mm-hmm. I loved that about her. She was a very special lady. But for my birthday every year, she would make a fried chicken dinner. Mm-hmm. And she would do all the different sides and everything. She really did not like cooking very much. Very much like Ash. Mm-hmm. She did not like cooking, but she was very good at it. She just didn't want to do it. So she would make fried chicken for my birthday, and she would do all the sides. And one of the things she would do is mashed potatoes, and she would make chicken gravy in the pan that she shallow fried the chicken. Mm-hmm. And then she'd pour off a lot of the oil that she fried in, and then she would make gravy out of the bits of the chicken. And so I would have a plate. And this is a good example of what caused some of my food issues. I would have a plate of food, would have chicken, mashed potatoes, corn, lima beans, all of the different things that she would make. I would then go back and take a dinner plate, okay, like a dinner plate. I would pile it about that deep with mashed potatoes, cover the entire plate, and then I'd put gravy all over it, and my second plate would be purely mashed potatoes. And she was putting like 2 sticks she used margarine, not butter. Margarine, even worse. She'd put like 2 sticks of margarine in her potatoes, and then she'd like melt an entire stick and make a well in the center of the mashed potatoes and pour the melted butter on that when she'd serve it. So you're talking like this huge bowl of mashed potatoes. I mean, I can't even imagine what I was doing to my body.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. That's how much I loved mashed potatoes. So, Lacey, I get it. I'm right there with you. But that's why I made my carnivore mashed potatoes recipe, because that was one that I needed. I needed that because I'm like, am I ever going to not have mashed potatoes again? Probably not. I'm sure there will be a day. But I limit that as much as I can, and if I really want something like that, but I don't feel like I really decide that I want to have the real mashed potatoes, I'll make the carnivore. And I'm very happy with that. 99% of the time, that's going to do it for me. So, Diane says, we all want to talk about the why. A why without a plan is a wish. You got to get to the how and be honest with yourself. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes the how is things like recipes, support in a community. It's a meal plan. There's 100 different things. But yeah, it's a really good thing. So it's a good point.
Good point.
Thinking for myself says, thank you for sharing your why with us. Absolutely.
Very sweet.
It's our pleasure. We're here to share. We want you guys to share too. Carrie is here. Darn it, I was too crazy ketos way too long, and I was also doing another app for HEB, which is my store in Texas. Now I have to wait on the card, and then I can start working for them. That's great, Carrie. Good for you.
Awesome. Yeah.
Rick says, as for cooking, I enjoy cooking on my most on my engine. Absolutely,
Yeah, right.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And Yogi is here, says, hi guys, sorry, just got to sign in. Well, that's okay.
Oh,
We're
good.
glad you're here.
So glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Carrie says, I'm also going to modify my sleep so I can work the dinner shift and night shift for DoorDash. Just have to watch out for the craziness. Of course, I had craziness when I worked the night shift.
Oh,
absolutely.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. That's awesome. And Carrie says, why did the corned beef become a teacher? It was great at cutting through knowledge and served up tasty lessons.
That's funny.
Love it. Let's see. Reese's Cluttered Kitchen is here. Says, good morning,
Risa.
all. 2 Crazy Ketos just ended. Well, we're glad you're here.
Yes, absolutely.
Rick says, I really appreciate you explaining your food history so I can understand what others go through. You're welcome, Rick. Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people it doesn't matter that much because maybe that's not the way you grew up or that's not how you go through it. And then other people, that is very much a thing because that's how they grew up and they've gone through it. So it's just about understanding what's going to work best for us and how we're all a little bit different.
Absolutely.
Lacey says, my husband used to cook pizza rolls in the microwave.
Oh, the good old days.
Yep, I understand.
Yeah.
Let's see. See if they're...
He's reading away, guys.
I'm reading away.
He's
all
reading away.
All these people came in from 2 Crazy Ketos and saying good morning. Trish is here.
Hi,
Good morning,
Trish.
all. Hi,
Good
Trish.
morning.
I love this. Hi, Chris and Mrs. Chris.
Hello.
Thank you for this. I love your recipes. Thank you for dreaming and creating them. I want to heal my gut with carnivore without losing weight. Any advice? African Princess? Good question. So, I'm not a doctor, so I cannot give you medical advice. But here's what I'll tell you that I understand as a result of people who are doctors who talk about the carnivore diet. Keto and carnivore are not weight loss diets. They are weight optimization lifestyles. And if you want to lose weight because you have extra weight to lose, ketosis is the way that happens. You're burning fat, whatever. If you don't want to lose weight, you don't want to lose muscle, bone mass, any of that kind of stuff because those are healthy tissues. You're not going to lose that on a carnivore diet if you're getting all of the protein and the fat that you need because that maintains all of that. Now, if your body loses weight because you went on carnivore, you're losing fat. You're not losing muscle and bone and all that if you're eating a true carnivore diet because your body is not going to destroy healthy tissue and get rid of it. The only thing it's going to get rid of is the unhealthy stuff. Your body is very smart. So if you're eating carnivore and you're losing weight, it's bad things that needed to come off your body. Okay, because carnivore doesn't force your body to lose weight that it can't lose. Your body has too much of a survival Sorry, guys. The the microphone is being weird. Let me just unplug it and plug it back in.
If you guys can still hear us, comment down below, and I'll scroll ahead of my phone here, baby.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I think it switched over to the iPhone microphone, so let me put it back. Okay, there we go. We should be back with that. Okay. Sorry, guys. I think the cable for my microphone is starting to go bad because it did that twice on me. So, anyway, so African Princess, your body is very smart. It is not going to lose weight that it needs to maintain. It's not going to lose things like muscle and bone and organ tissue, that kind of stuff. It's not going to lose that. It's going to lose fat and inflammation. So I wouldn't worry about the scale. If you're not wanting to lose weight, don't worry about the scale. Eat lots of meat, lots of animal fats, and if you want to bulk up and have stronger and more dense tissue, then lift heavy stuff while you do it. Mm-hmm. And that can be whatever's heavy for you. So if picking up a gallon of milk is heavy for you, lift the gallon of milk up and down. Maybe don't get milk because it's high in carbs. Gallon of water. If you have a rock or something that's outside and you want to go do that, cool. Go lift whatever is heavy stuff, eat lots of meat, and your body will maintain all the healthy tissue it needs. Mm. So, it's a really good question.
Yeah.
Jonna says, Chris, your recipes are awesome. You are helping so many people with them. Well, I appreciate that.
Very sweet.
I really, really appreciate that. I'm trying to help people, guys. It's not always easy. Sometimes people don't know the help that they need.
Right. And
convincing them that they need help and then actually getting them to do it after the fact are two very big steps when it comes to helping people. Mm. I know because I was on the other side of that and I didn't want to hear any of that. So I get it. Yogi says, to be out of pain.
That's a great why.
Yep.
Great
Amazing. Especially when you wake up one day and you realize it's noticeably better.
Yes.
And suddenly you're like, I think it's working. I mean, that's just, it's amazing when that starts to happen. Ask me how I know.
Right.
Yeah. Carrie says, my why at the beginning was to lose the weight, which I did that, and now my why is to get the job that I need to thrive.
Good for you, Carrie.
Excellent.
Amazing, man. That's great.
Nana says, it still surprises me when I get down on the floor and play with the grandsons.
That's
How cool
awesome.
is that?
So cool.
That is so great.
Yes.
Cindy says, my why is my husband, but also my health. No longer being on blood pressure meds after 50 years on them.
Wow.
And no longer pre-diabetic is what keeps me going.
Good for you, Cindy.
Amazing. Also, if you guys haven't seen Cindy's before and after pictures,
check them out.
Yep. Incredible. Make sure you subscribe to Cindy's channel. She does interviews, and she does what I eat in a week kind of videos and all kinds of cool stuff. Like, she's just a real person doing this every week trying to inspire people. So go check her out and watch her stuff because she's a great example of what can happen when you just switch to this lifestyle.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kitchen Witch fixed all my hormonal issues and anxiety with menopause.
That's amazing. So amazing.
Fantastic. Amazing. Yes. John Long, my why is less inflammation, better focus, less depression, and of course weight loss, which helps a ton with my bad knees.
John, that's great, man.
Amazing, John. So let us know how you're doing with all of that and how we can support you in continuing that. Yogi says, my why was to get out of pain, but my success is being off all medication and the weight loss just came as a side effect, which is great.
I love that.
And this is amazing. If we all started thinking of weight loss not as the main goal, but as the side effect of what is the main goal, which should be better health and all the things that come with that, all of these outcomes are side effects of good health. It's one main problem, which is metabolic issues. But it's multiple benefits that come as a result. And when you know that, you chase one thing, which is good health. And you just let all of the other things become what they're supposed to be. It really simplifies the idea of doing this.
It does, yeah.
Risa says, my why is trying not to get the diabetes that my dad had late in his life and hopefully won't get the dementia my mom got. Only success is staying stable. I don't need to lose weight. I need to gain. Excellent.
That's still great, though.
That's great. Well, Risa,
good for you.
Up the protein and start lifting heavy stuff and you'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunny says, my why is less inflammation and better mental health, which allows me to be active again so I can spend time with my family.
Oh, Sunny, I love that.
Amazing. Lacey says, I have many whys. Family history of heart problems, cancer, diabetes. My husband says he can't live without me, so I have to outlive him.
Lacey, you rock.
Love it. Love it. Trish says, my why is to live as healthy as possible, as long as possible with Bob. I want us to stay mobile and feeling good as long as we can. What a great...
Trish, I love that.
What a great goal.
So great.
Amy says, my why was originally weight loss for my bad hip. I've had 3 hip surgeries, 1 in Chicago, and I needed to keep my weight off to preserve my hip. Now I feel sick if I eat gluten or other bad ingredients. Absolutely. So you have exposed the inflammation and things your body was fighting that you probably didn't even know for all those years. And so now when you try to eat it, you go, oh, that's hurting my body. I shouldn't do that. What a great piece of clarity to have.
Yeah.
And that's amazing that you're keeping the weight off and helping your hip. That's awesome. African Princess, my why is to heal my gut and constant bloating, heal joint pain, and be less tired all the time.
That's so awesome. Also, I was
Carnivore, right here. I had the same issues.
I was also going to make a suggestion to African Princess.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're incorporating any type of fasting. Because it sounds like with your gut and all of that and constant bloating, if my gut was really messed up when I went from keto carnivore. So, but fasting is something that you really might want to look into. And I know Dr. Ken Berry probably has 20,000 videos on fasting on his YouTube channel. Maybe one of our moderators can put a link to his channel. But if you haven't already, I would suggest that and see if that maybe helps with your gut health and bloating and all of that. Yeah. It sounds like that might be a good thing to try, though, if you're not.
Absolutely. Fasting is very soothing for the gut, and I had major gut issues before I went carnivore because fiber really messes with mine, and I'm good. I'm really good. Every now and then, if I have something that's keto and there's a little too much fiber, I immediately it comes back for a day, and then I'm like, okay, this is why I don't do that.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a really smart piece of advice over here, babe.
I'm not a doctor, but I know some things. I dabble.
Caitlin is here, says 16 years plus of living with reactive hypoglycemia. I decided it was time to take control of my life. Freedom from the CGM, freedom from the glucose roller coaster. Carnivore saved me.
Oh man, can we get a rock on?
Fantastic.
That's so
rock
awesome.
On. Let's
always works for him.
The freedom from glucose issues. Yes.
No,
rock
but
on
that's
for that.
so awesome.
Yeah, very, very cool. Sherry Watkins is here, says, woohoo, catching you live.
Hi, Sherry.
Let's see. Jackie says, my why, I've nursed and helped nurse several patients into and through the too early and too degenerative ends of their lives. It was and continues to be hard. Hubs and I don't want that for our children.
Oh, Jackie, yes.
Yes, amazing. And unfortunately, when you nurse people through that, you see the real stark, difficult reality.
Yeah.
Of what happens to people who just, without even knowing it, most likely have just abused their bodies their whole lives. It's really, it's sad, but it's a lot. So I'm so glad that you have that why, though, Jackie. That's amazing. Janelle says, my why was to get rid of diabetes. I got rid of a whole lot more, including painful neuropathy in my feet. That's amazing.
Janelle, that's so awesome. So great.
Amazing. Jolene says, my why, 62. That's okay.
Jolene, I still think you're young. I mean, that's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. Cynthia
is here, says, I would have to say the hardest part of this diet is giving up beer and wine. I'm a few weeks in and love it. Cooking and eating is so easy. Yeah. You know, Cynthia, it is hard for people who are used to having that kind of stuff regularly. But the thing is, when you get rid of it, and then you start adding it back in, you start to realize it wasn't doing anything good for you. Ash can tell you all about this.
I was going to say, Cynthia, I used to have at least a drink a day for the most part back in my Standard American Diet days. And when we went keto, that was one of the things I was like, oh, I'm not going to like that. Like, what do you mean I can't have a glass of wine or I can't have what? Like, what are you talking about? So when I gave it up and then I did, keto for, I guess about a month. And then afterwards, I was like, okay. And then I tried drinking again. And I will never make that mistake ever, 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 ever again. Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to think about it. But then when you go to reintroduce it, you go, and maybe you're different. But for me, I mean, it gave me such bad anxiety and I was such a mess. For me, I think one of the biggest health benefits I got was just the awakening of not only feeling better and all, but realizing what alcohol was doing to not only my body, but my brain.
Yeah.
So it's different for people, but It's a weird idea to wrap your head around, but literally, please just stick with it. Don't drink. Give your body some time. And then if you decide you want to try it, go for it. I ain't here to tell no one what to do. But for me, it was like, oh, I am never doing that again. And how did I put this poison in my body every day for how many years? And
that's the thing that I think we all have to realize is, alcohol, it is a slow poison. There's nothing nutritionally that you need from alcohol. It is purely a slow recreational drug. And, if we're all adults, we all have the right to choose to use it. And if you want to, that's fine. It's up to you. Dr. Barry even talks about it. He's like, maybe like once a week if you want to have one drink or something. Like, you're an adult, you're welcome to do that. And generally, if you're metabolically healthy, your body can handle that. It's not good for you, but it's also not necessarily a huge issue. But when you're having it regularly, it is damaging your brain. Like, it's just scientifically fact that it is a poison.
Well, and I think, like, different things are different for different people. Like, we know people that do have a drink once a week while being on a proper human diet.
And they're fine.
They seem totally fine.
Yeah.
You may take that out of your diet and then go to reintroduce it back in and then go, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, that was for me. I was like,
you never know.
No, I don't think that works.
Faithful Fire Radio is here.
Nice name.
Very good to see you, my friend. Says, do you try to stick to grass-fed, and should I? So this is a great question. No, I don't try to stick to grass-fed because I have way too many bills to pay to afford grass-fed beef or grass-fed butter or any of that kind of stuff. Now, if you can afford it and you want to, I think that's fine. I think it's good. It probably is slightly better. However, even Dr. Barry talks about this a lot. He's like, listen, if you can afford grass-fed, grass-finished, panda-massaged meat, sure, go for it. It's probably a 1% to 2% difference. Like, is there a difference? Yeah, there is. Is it a big one? It's not. Anyone who says that the grain-fed, grain-finished kind of meats or grass-fed, grain-finished or any of that stuff is inflammatory and making you sick, I think they need to provide research that actually shows that. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. There is a slight difference in the nutrient profile, yes, but you also have to ask, if I don't have the money for grass-fed, am I going to completely derail my entire life for a 2% difference? Or is it better to stick with what you can afford and be consistent? And that's what we do. So I buy the cheapest ground beef and the cheapest on sale steaks and the cheapest bulk eggs and the cheapest bulk butter. That's what I use, and it has completely transformed our lives. So if you can afford grass-fed and you like grass-fed and that's what you want to do, I think it's great. But if you're just like, man, I don't know if I can do that, that's tough. You don't need to. You don't have to do that. So don't put that pressure on yourself if that's putting pressure on you.
Yeah, good question, though.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Let's see. Jolene says, my why is to get rid of diabetes and, lose over 100 pounds and be able to have no back pain.
Oh,
fantastic.
That's a great one. Great why, yeah.
Sherry Nevada Pup says, my why is to keep the weight down. Been eating this way for 20 years.
Wow.
Learning while following you and the others it is and has helped me with my health overall. And I'm now eating meat.
Good for you, Sherry. That's awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Jonna Oliver is here. Says, good morning.
Good morning.
And Nora Lido, one of our YouTube members, is here. Says, good morning. Hi, Nora.
Good morning. Glad you're here.
I love this. John, Cranky Carnivore Cutler, is here. He says, I don't wear green. I eat green via ruminants. Love it, man.
That is funny.
Betty is here. She's a member of our private group.
Hey,
says,
Betty.
Gotta get back over to the private group and finish my story. I've just been incredibly busy getting certified as a clergy ADHD coach. Exams next month. Woo!
Well, way to go.
That's awesome, Betty. Well, we are here to support you, so you come over whenever you're ready and you let us know, and we will celebrate with you, and we'd love to hear your story.
Absolutely, yeah.
There is the guinea pig.
The guinea pig
Brian
himself.
is here. Dale 38S.
Aww.
That is Cindy's husband, Brian.
He's the best.
And let's see. Cindy wants to know, where's Mel today? Sound asleep like always.
Sleeping. Hey, are you awake now? Come here. Come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. Oh, wait, we have to stretch first. Big stretch. Only a big stretch.
That's it. Show the world your butt.
Yep, that's how we do it. Come here. Oh. Are you sleepy?
I think time change has really messed with her because we're getting up a little earlier.
Did I wake you? Yeah. Yeah, we are getting up earlier, and she's a little, you can tell she's kind of confused, a little sleeping more during the day. So, but yeah. Guys, if you see Chris and I working, filming a video, doing a live stream, just know that Mel is close by. She's probably just napping.
She's either behind us on the couch asleep, or on the floor at our feet asleep, or something. That's about the only place she will be.
All right. Good job. Good job.
She refuses to let us be in a room where she is not.
Yeah, exactly. So. She has to be involved in all things.
Yeah. Let's see. Betty says that biscuit recipe is amazing. Had biscuits and sausage gravy yesterday for lunch. Yum. I'm so glad, Betty. I'm so glad you just enjoy it.
That is awesome.
Risa says, what do you think of making scones with a biscuit recipe? Maybe adding a bit of sweetener and some dried fruit or sugar-free chocolate chips. I think it would probably work as long as the ingredients are like the fruit is a dried fruit, or the chocolate chips, of course, aren't, like wet. As long as it's not wet stuff, it shouldn't be an issue. Now, if you're going to add in sweetener like allulose that will brown, if you add in something like stevia or something like xylitol or sucralose or any of that, it's probably not an issue. But if you add something like allulose that browns, I would turn that oven temperature down to like 425 so you don't get them too brown on the outside. Yeah. But other than that, I think it would totally work.
It's awesome.
Betty says, looks like YouTube didn't like my why. Improved. I'll have to just share the rest in the private community, I guess. I love it, and we would love to hear it, Betty.
Absolutely.
Jeffrey says, my why is originally to reverse diabetes, arthritis, and pain. Now my why is to live well past 100 to be able to take care of my family instead of them taking care of me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing.
So cool, so cool.
Carrie says, what salty are y'all drinking today, and how's the weather in Tennessee? The weather where I am in Texas is nice. So we're drinking coffee right now. The salty I'll be drinking later is probably going to pick cherry chill because we have a bunch of that right now. So
I'll probably do grapefruit. We have a couple different flavors downstairs.
Yeah, we have several different flavors. Yeah. So
what we need more of in our life, though, is the new Mondo Melon flavor from Salty.
Hey! Speaking of, Boom. Salty, and they have these beautiful.
If you guys have not tried this new flavor, it's seriously so good. So good.
The new Mondo Melon. We have 2 of these packs left.
Just 2?
Just 2.
I love it.
They are fantastic. I have a link in the description box for Keto Chow or Salty. Either one. You can use the same link for both. Click that link. It'll take you to the website, and it's going to put a discount code on there for you so you can get a discount off Salty. These are our favorite electrolytes. And I always inevitably get this question. Yes, it says natural flavors. No, that is not maltodextrin. Salty does not use maltodextrin, and they have a whole page on their website talking about why they're not using maltodextrin and what they're using instead and why it's better. So Salty is not only a higher amount of the magnesium and potassium per pack than the leading competitor, but they're cheaper for the amount of that you're going to get as a result, and their natural flavors do not include the maltodextrin. And if you don't like flavors of any kind, they have one called Clean Slate that has nothing in it. It's just purely plain electrolytes. So
love it.
If you're going to drink packed electrolytes like that and you're not like making your own or something, if you're going to drink any of those, Salty is the ones we recommend. So we drink every single day.
Agreed. It's a big difference for both of us, for sure.
Yep. Cindy says, I'm on both channels on 2 different browsers. One, I'm getting ads pop up on this live stream. The other one, none. Yes, that's because this channel is monetized on the main Chris Cooking Nashville channel.
The other
one is not. So we need more watch hours to get that channel monetized, because then that gives me more functionality, full things. And once we get there, then we'll be able to put the ads on there. And I know the ads are annoying, guys, but here's the deal. I do this full-time for a living, and those ads are how we make money. And if I can't make money off of the ads, then I couldn't afford to do this. I'd go have to get a day job, and you guys would never see me again doing this. Because
there would be no carnivore biscuits, no carnivore mashed
That's
potatoes.
Right. That's right.
No nothing.
That's right. So it's it's a whole thing. So appreciate you guys supporting us and just putting up with those ads so that we can afford to have a kitchen that I can experiment in.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Nana has to take the doggy outside, so she'll watch the replay later. Have a good week. Well,
bye.
Nana, you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here, and give your dog some petties for us.
Yes.
Steven055 is here. Chris, the detail you go into to make things carnivore is absolutely crazy, to be honest. This whole community appreciates you. Well, thank you, Steven.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to ever accept anything that's halfway.
That's right.
I just want you guys to have the best, and I want to have the best for when I make recipes for our dinner too.
Yes.
Love the fact that you're here. Thank you so much for your support. John says, I played rhythm guitar in a band years ago, but I need to join yours so I can get some help with ideas for my wife who wants to try keto but has a meat aversion. John, come over and find us, man, and I'll send you ideas all day long, brother.
Oh yeah.
Help you out. Believe me, I got plenty of ideas because before I went carnivore, I was doing keto along with her. She's now more like meat-heavy keto, almost ketovore most of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm carnivore, so we came from that keto side and moved our way over. And
and meat inversion can be a real thing.
It's a real thing, especially for women, because of the hormones.
Yeah, it can be a thing. But we have tips and tricks that we can actually, share with you that would actually probably really help her just to get over it. Because I even had meat aversion when I first started keto too. I think it's just kind of part of it that not all, but some women struggle with. So yeah, John, come join us. We'd love to help.
Absolutely. Lacey says it was some homemade banana bread. In the past, it would have been one of those whole Pepperidge Farm cakes, to my shame. I understand, Lacey. I understand. Believe me, you don't even want to see the things that I used to eat when I was doing this back in the day. It's like, so you guys know, you go to the grocery store, you know how they have the pies in the clamshell package, like the plastic clamshell that you just pop it open and you cut your slices. I would take that, a half gallon of whole milk, and a spoon, and I would sit in bed and watch TV, and I would eat the entire pie and drink the milk. Can you imagine what I was doing to my body?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about binge eating things that aren't good for you? I understand the complete lack of self-control because that's where I came from. So, not good. Not good. So, you're doing great, Lacey. You just keep at it. Carrie says, once I get going with modifying the time, I work DoorDash and the new one I just signed up for in the church, then I should be good. That will be 3 jobs, powered by Carnivore and Coffee. There you go, man.
That. Powered by Carnivore and Coffee. Someone put that on a t-shirt, man.
That is good. And John makes a good point. Says, Carrie, answered prayers.
That's right.
Absolutely, because I know we've been talking about that.
So cool. Good for you, Carrie.
Lorraine says, hail the Holy Grail Cookbook.
Holy Grail Cookbook. Maybe that's what you should title your cookbook, The Holy Grail.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yogi says, gotta go, have a client, but watch the rest later. Have a blessed day, you two. Well,
Bye,
Yogi, you have a blessed
day
and have fun helping your client.
Yeah.
Dustin says, I need to know how the waffles turn out with the cracker batter. Yeah.
I'm sure someone here can tell you. It sounds like a great idea, though. Very smart.
I can tell you, Dustin, if you use that batter and you make a waffle and then you stick it in a dehydrator for a very long time, you get what's essentially a giant soda cracker.
Hey.
So, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It takes it a while to dehydrate, but once it does, there you go. Let's see. See if we have any questions or anyone else jumping in. Here's Mitzi at 307 Junk Journal says, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Mitzi. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Diane says, right on, Chris. Sherry Morgan is here. Same here, Jeff. I'm on day 93 of pressure-cooked ribeye and roasted bone marrow. My family is straight up, let's eat everything. None of us have any issues with anyone else's food choices. Amazing.
That's awesome. That's
really
cool.
You just do what works for you, and everybody does their thing, and we don't have to judge. We're just here to support and help everybody.
Yeah.
Dustin says, in the before times, I'd make a box of mashed potatoes, Velveeta shells and cheese, and box of stuffing and gravy.
Wow.
Just 1,000 grams of carbs, no big deal.
Yeah.
Me too, brother.
Yeah.
Me too. Wasn't those specific things, but similar approach to eating is exactly what I would do. Wow. Probably 800 to 1,000 grams of carbs, if not some days maybe 2 or 3. I mean, it was bad, really, really bad. So. Lacey says, my husband is a heavy equipment operator. He loads double flatbed semis with product, been at his job 24 years, supervisor and foreman, both who ride a desk, stopped him in the middle of loading his 40th truck for the day to tell him to work harder.
Oh.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the thing. Are his supervisor and foreman, both who ride a desk, super inflamed and have issues in their brain where they probably don't even realize what they're doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's rough. It's rough. It's rough. I'm so sorry, Lacey, but
it's very tough.
Yeah, it is. Dustin makes a good point. If you like grass-fed and can afford it, go for it. But you can achieve all the success you need with normal beef. Totally agree.
Go. Yeah.
Totally agree. Lacey says he took off the next day because he was so mad. Understand. Mm-hmm. And says the foreman drove in his place and ripped a bumper off one of the trucks.
Oh. Well, it should be pretty grateful
It comes
for him.
back
Yeah.
around. It comes back around.
Absolutely.
Risa says, talking to Dustin, for years I didn't watch how many carbs I ate and didn't care to pay attention to it. Now I do. If I have any, it is during one meal or break, and I go back to eating what I should. And that's fantastic.
Yes.
That is fantastic. Rick says, yes, things are different when you've been carnivore as long as I have. Absolutely.
I'm sure, yeah.
When you're an almost lifelong carnivore like Rick, like you have a totally different perspective on this. And we can all shoot for that and try to get there, but Rick being a total pro at this for decades is very different than someone else coming to this brand new, and that's a journey.
But what's really cool about Rick is even though he's been a carnivore since he was a teenager and all, I mean he's been doing this for so long, but it's like he's here trying to learn, like, well, why do people have an issue with mashed potatoes? Why do they feel like they need to eat that? Why? What can I do to help? And that's the cool thing that we really appreciate about you, Rick, is just how you're so open to understanding, well, why do other people feel this way, even if you don't necessarily deal with those same issues. So good on you for just supporting others, man.
Absolutely.
Super awesome.
Sherry says, I've been carnivore for 6 years after being a vegan for 20 years. Honestly, I have tried every way of eating for health reasons, not for weight loss.
Oh, Sherry.
I totally get it, Sherry, and congrats for being 6 years carnivore after 20 years vegan. So if you guys don't know, Pastor Bob that I was talking about that's in the group, the reason he's in the private group, it has nothing to do with a religious thing. He just happens to be a pastor. But he is carnivore. That's how I know him, because he found me through my channel, and now we're great friends, and we're doing work together. But he's in the private group sharing his story because he was a vegan for 40 years. And he was a vegan that taught other people how to be vegans because he went and got a doctorate in something, I forget exactly what it was. He taught other people the right way to be vegan. Like, so he was as vegan can be. And he's flat out like, it was wrong. I was wrong. And he has changed his health completely by going carnivore. And so he's sharing his story.
It's very
and
inspiring.
helping as many people as he can. So, yeah, that's great, Sherry. You and Pastor Bob would be really good friends, Sherry. You have a lot in common there. So, really cool. This is a great question. Now I'm going to see if anybody knows. Jackie says, off topic and not important. Does anyone know what, if any, effect or value there is in the little heart or 100% emojis that are next to the live chat box? Does anyone see them? Yes, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what value those have. I know they kind of pop up on the screen if a whole bunch of people are doing it. It kind of floats and then disappears off the side. But I don't know if YouTube has any actual value that they place on those.
I know, like, hitting the thumbs up button is a big deal. And I know leaving comments, and if you watch for a long time, those things help. But I think maybe the hearts are just for fun.
Yeah, I don't know if they're fun or like what the whole deal is.
Great
there.
Question though.
Very, very interesting. So, as Dustin says, smash that thumbs up button for us.
Please, please, please.
And yeah, there's the everybody saying no sound.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rick says, working on a logo for my channel, thinking a duck on an iguana. Love it. Being
cooked on an engine, Rick. That's awesome.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Love it, love it.
That's fantastic. Kitchen Witch says, gotta go on a mission for markdown meats at a local Amish store. Well, best hunting to you. Go get those markdown meats.
Absolutely, that's great.
There's Violet saying, definitely focus on getting enough fat for African Princess. It's really important for healing. Absolutely.
Fat is your friend.
Yep. And if you play with it, you'll find the right ratios that make you feel best. Is it super high fat, moderate protein? Is it high protein, more moderate fat? You'll find the right place, but make sure you're getting enough of that fat one way or the other, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
There's our new friend Claire Marie. Says, hi guys, just saw that you were live.
Hi,
Here we are, Claire. We are live every Monday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for the Monday Morning Motivation. We're very glad you're here.
Yes.
And she says, my why is to heal Graves' disease and chronic fatigue and ease the ADHD symptoms. Well, good for you.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
So awesome. Yes.
And I love this. Betty makes a good point. Cancer equals a metabolic issue.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Arisa says, another benefit of eating PhD is getting the stomach issues under control. Real messed up. Now rarely have gas or issues. It's been a month since the last time. And that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
And she also says, I lift heavy stuff for functional fitness, and I've got that part of the equation down. Been at the same job for almost 7 years and have the muscles to prove it. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. And it looks like we've got some moderators dropping in Dr. Barry's channel.
Great.
Info on fasting from Cindy. Another avenue about fasting. So there's a bunch of info for you guys. Just go look through the chat there. That is fantastic. Martha is here, says, good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful morning, Chris and Ash. Happy to see you both. We're happy to see you, Martha.
Thank you for being here.
Linda says, your chicken noodles and your fried chicken are just unbelievable. So good. Well, thank you,
yes.
Linda. It's good to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, this is cool. Vanessa is here. Hello from Dubai.
Ooh.
My why is a severe tendonitis on both ankles, so painful I couldn't walk. I'm a flight attendant, pre-diabetes and Hashimoto's, 65 days on Ketovore, and the pain is 90% gone.
That's great.
Rock on, Vanessa. That is amazing. Good for you.
That's incredible.
Let's see what else we got here. Trish makes a great point. Consistency is key.
Very true, Trish. Yeah.
Lacey says, if I would drink a real glass of wine, I'd be on the floor. Never been into alcohol or other mind-altering substances. Yeah, I totally get it, Lacey. Some people react that way. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Faithful Fire Radio says, sounds good, brother. God bless you all.
God bless you.
God bless you, my friend. He says, and sis.
Thank you, friend.
Yep, absolutely. Risa says, I'm all out of granular allulose and can't get it either. Thrive Market has been out of the canister of RX sugar for a couple of months. Anyone else having an issue finding it? Yeah, is anybody else having trouble?
Yeah.
This is cool. Agape Shalom Carnivore. Shalom.
Shalom.
Says, greetings from KC, Las Vegas, Nevada.
I love that.
I have more coffee to get
drink.
through.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I think your name is brand new, so at least I haven't seen it. I don't remember it if I've seen it before, so thank you so much for popping in.
Thank you for being here, yeah.
Let's see.
You guys are just chatting away today. I love it.
Yeah. Carrie says, I'll get some salty when I'm caught up with things and thriving. I'll get there soon.
Good
Yes,
for
you
you,
will.
man.
Yes, you will. And Agape is talking about the allulose on Amazon. That's where I get mine from.
Yeah.
So
Amazon's good for that kind of stuff for sure.
Yep. Everyday Carnivore is here, winning day 459, down 111 pounds. Been maintaining on Carnivore since October. Guys, how many people do you know that have lost 111 pounds doing anything else other than Keto or Carnivore?
It's pretty incredible.
Rock on. Amazing.
I love it. Very inspiring to hear everyone's whys and successes today. I really
this is why we wanted to talk about this today.
Yeah.
Sandra is here. Says, Chris, you were so honest and common sense. My why is rheumatoid arthritis plus have to rebuild muscles after TKR and pneumonia 2 years ago. Struggling. I get it, Sandra, but you're doing great. Keep at it. And especially if you have things like rheumatoid arthritis, you might be someone who would benefit doing like a real strict, almost lion diet, like meat, salt, water, elimination diet for 90 days, and then slowly come back the other way. If you haven't done that already, maybe you have, but slowly come back the other way. Pastor Bob, we were just talking about his mom. She's 95 years old, and she's still kicking. Miss Bonnie is awesome.
She's great. Yeah.
And she was dealing with arthritis. She has really bad arthritis. They put her on the lion diet, And then they started coming back the other way, and they figured out the things that were causing her arthritis, and her arthritis went away, and now she's feeling way better.
Yeah.
And she has eliminated the things in her diet that were causing the inflammation. So might be something to help.
It's really cool, yeah.
Lacey says, can one of the mods post the link for the studio channel? Absolutely. If you're on the main channel, it is also in the description box for you.
There you guys go, yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And if you guys want to head over and not only subscribe to the Studios channel, but what would be really helpful and something that's free to do if you're just like, hey, I'd like to just support them, just go to that Studios channel. I see Janelle actually posted a link there. It's in the description.
Yep, there's the Studios channel link.
Subscribe if you haven't, but actually just put on like live streams and videos. There's some playlists over there.
Yep.
Just let videos from that channel just kind of play in the background if you don't mind.
Massively.
That's literally all we need is just more people to go over there and watch, and that will open up a whole new whole new avenue of opportunity if you guys don't mind.
Yep, and like I said, that link is also in the description box on the main channel of the video. So it's in pretty much all of my videos on the main channel. So you can go to any of them in the description box. You'll see it says Chris Cooking Nashville Studios. It's on there. So let's see. Lacey says, oh yes, the lady is pushing 300 pounds. When he goes in the office, it smells like stale fast food. Yeah. Yep, I understand. And that's the thing. You have to realize, like, I mean, people like that, their body is inflamed. Imagine what's going on in their brain.
Right.
It doesn't make it less frustrating to deal with their attitudes, but understanding where that's coming from, it can help a lot.
I think too, like, if you kind of realize that we all probably acted that way at one point or another just because of brain fog, fatigue, putting chemicals and stuff in our body. But there's a saying that I love, which is love the person, hate the sin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lacey says, veganism killed my hormones, as I've already shared. Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
And Rick said, thanks for mentioning my viewpoint. Absolutely, Rick. We all have a space to be recognized here. So
yeah.
Holly Springer wants to know, have you tried making dumplings out of your biscuit recipe yet? I have not. It's on my list. 2 years to get to the biscuit recipe, but now there's a lot of experimentation to do. So I was so excited about getting that one done. I literally got it right, and within a few weeks, like, it was filmed and out for you guys. So,
yeah, he was too excited.
Yeah, so it will definitely be something I work on. John says the link wasn't there the first time I looked. I'm sure of it. Very strange. Well, if you don't see it there still, let me know. But I think it should be there. And there's Nana asking for the link as well.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Lacey says, Chris, do you have any comments on some of the carnivore influencers that claim carnivore, but are clearly just not eating and are dangerously underweight? I feel like people need to be really careful. I agree with you. I don't want to judge what anybody else is doing behind the scenes, because I can tell you as a YouTuber, what you think you see and what goes on behind the camera when we're doing all of this are very different things. So I can't really say what those people are or are not doing. I will tell you that if you look at someone and you think, man, they really don't look healthy and I don't want to be like that, then maybe don't listen to what they say to do. Go find people that look healthy, that live a healthy lifestyle, that are, doing their stuff that you go, I really resonate with that. I really see what that person is doing is working. I think what they're doing is great. And just go listen to their advice and pray for those that you think are totally off base. I don't know what those people are going through. I know that we have been conditioned to think that people who are healthy are maybe too skinny sometimes. But there's a difference between, wow, they're thin, and wow, they look like they have a not proper order of eating. Avoiding the YouTube algorithm flagging us for saying something. People who struggle with eating issues from a, like, maybe you need therapy standpoint, that can be a lot. And I don't have any experience on that side of it. Mine was the binge eating side of things where I was really overweight. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're going through, but I think my commentary on it is, if you look at someone and you think, something doesn't seem right, something seems like they're too thin, something seems like they're, whatever, maybe just don't pay that much attention to what they're saying and just go find the people who are really healthy. So this is why I show my before and after pictures, and it's why I'm very honest about the fact that I still have weight to lose, because I don't want people to look at me and think, if you eat the way Chris does, this is what you're going to look like forever. I'm on a journey and I'm losing weight and I'm taking care of myself, but there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes in my brain and in my personal life than just what you see here. And that's why I try to communicate that with you all as honestly and openly as possible, because I want you to know this isn't finished. This isn't where it's supposed to be at. And so it's really important to know that there is a lot more than just how small or large somebody is. But if you look at someone that, especially if they've been doing this a long time and it's like, they do not look healthy, that's cool. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know what their labs say. I'm not there with them on a daily basis, but I think the best thing you can do is just find the people that do look healthy, that you think that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to look like them. I'm trying to live my life active like them. That's what I want. Like, for example, I look at, and you guys know I love Dr. Barry and Nisha. I look at the two of them as examples of how Ash and I are trying to get our health under control to be more like that. Because Dr. Barry is active on his farm every day. He's in really great shape, but he's not trying to look like a bodybuilder where he has 0% body fat. He talks about the fact, he's like, bodybuilders that have 7% body fat, that's not actually healthy. Like, that is not normal. I think it's supposed to be like 15% or something, or it's somewhere around in there for men, and I think it's like 20 to 25 or maybe pushing towards 30 for women. He's like, that's what your body is supposed to be. It doesn't look the way that people think it should, but that's what your body is actually designed to hold as far as fat percentages. So, he's just active and healthy and just tries to be healthy and rolls with it. I think that's great.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
If I can add on 2 cents to this too.
Yeah, of course.
It's hard to know what someone is really like when the camera goes off. I also think it's fair to mention that if you're following someone who is on a proper human diet, whether they still have weight to lose or whether they're super, super, super thin or, whatever, I think you just have to use discernment.
Yeah.
And sometimes not pay attention to what that person looks like, but take some time to actually know who they are and what their story is.
Yeah.
Like, if someone tuned in and is like, they still have weight to lose, well, that's fine. If you don't want to watch us, that's cool. Yeah. But they don't take the time to realize how much weight we've lost.
Right.
Versus if I go to someone's channel and I'm like, oh my gosh, this person is absurdly skinny and whatever, but maybe they have some good tips and tricks and pointers. Maybe they're trying to do something good. I think especially there is a lot of pressure though, you guys, that we just need to be very aware of from people on YouTube and social media, where if you are a influencer in the health space, it is made that you have to be so incredibly skinny. And if you're not so incredibly skinny, there is this ungodly pressure put on you that if you're not a certain way and a certain body type, well, then you're not good at your job and what you're doing does not have value. So I just wanted to add that in there because I would never want someone to judge Chris and I by just looking at the cover of our books.
Right, the way
and
we
not
still have
opening
to
it.
lose.
Yeah, because maybe you guys don't realize that we've lost over 200 pounds between the two of us. Maybe you don't see that. And we try to be open and honest and try to be the same people when the camera is on as when the camera is off.
Right.
But all I'm saying is you need to, for yourselves, learn discernment when you're watching someone online. But because someone is underweight, it doesn't mean that there may be a bad person or what they're doing isn't good. Maybe they have some issues. And maybe those issues are brought on by a lot of the pressures that no one seems to want to talk about, hey, when you're an influencer online, there's kind of this dark side to it. And so just to be fair though to people, because I would hate for someone to go, well, that person's really, really skinny, and therefore I don't want to be like them. It's what if they're trying to help people? What if they actually have a good heart? What if they have good intentions? Don't judge people by their cover, but look, the Bible tells us, you will know them by their fruits. What kind of, are they, do they have a great community around them? Are they putting out a lot of good, helpful, tips and tricks and advice? Check it out. Look at their fruits. So now if they're trying to sell you a pill that is going to make you lose 100 pounds and tell you can lose 100 pounds on Carnivore in 45 days, run. I mean, don't buy the scam, but just, read the book before you judge the cover.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
that's my 2 cents. That was it.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. I think it's a great question, Lacey, and I think it is
really good
something
question,
we really need to be aware of, because there are people out there who will tell you, you need to be just like me, and here's how you all do it, and this is important, and everyone else is crazy, and it's all just me, and I know all the answers. And I just don't know that they're being that helpful to people, because there's influencers of 1,000 different varieties. Some of them are great, and some of them are selling you a bag of goods, and you just gotta look into it and do the research and figure out what makes sense to you, and who is the kind of person, regardless of what they look like, who's the kind of person that is giving of their time and of their resources to try to help you. Because if they're not trying to take things from you, but they're trying to give things to you instead, that says a lot.
Right.
That's why it's like, I mean, obviously, my private community, you pay to be a part of it because it costs me money to create it. Like, I can't do it without there being money that comes in. I can't afford to run Chris Cooking Nashville if we don't make the money it takes to pay our bills. I'm also not going to try to sell you some crazy pill that is going to make you instantly skinny to try to take millions of dollars from people for something that doesn't work. And that's why it's like, I put out all of the info that I can. I try to help people as best I can, try to make a living doing it, and I don't try to sell you a whole bunch of stuff. I won't even work with a company and do like a product review unless it's a product, or usually it's a kitchen gear item or something that I already wanted or would work with because I think it's really valuable to have. I don't. That's why you don't see like sponsors on my videos very much. And when you see a sponsor, like Tyfer is a good example. I worked with Tyfer for the air fryer videos I've done, for the sous vide, for the thermometers, the probe thermometers. I'll work with Tyfer anytime they want because they're just great. And I have all their gear in the kitchen. I use it almost every day. Like, we just used the sous vide yesterday. I use the air fryer almost every day. I love their stuff, and I feel good about you guys going and getting their gear because it's not the cheapest, but it works the best I've ever had. I don't accept sponsorship opportunities from just anyone. I get them regularly. People ask to be a sponsor, and like this tea that helps you, with your inflammation, or this, whatever. And I'm like, there's no science behind any of this. This isn't real. I'm not going to sell you something because I'm making money by doing so. That's not why we're here. So
right, yeah. Again, though, look at the fruits.
Yep, look at the fruits.
Yeah, you use discernment. So.
Look at the fruits. So it's a great question. Really
good question.
And for anyone who Lacey is talking about out there, I feel like people need to be really careful. Be careful about who you buy into and how much you buy into one particular person, because it can turn into a cult real quick.
We're all just dudes and chicks.
Absolutely. Dr. Barry says it all the time. Just dudes and chicks.
Yep.
John Wise is here. Says, I got a big bag of allulose from Amazon. That's where I get mine from. It's absolutely fantastic. Risa says, I wish I had known about PhD when I needed to lose the weight. I was overweight. Bathroom was where you would find me, and I was fatigued all the time. Bathroom isn't my home anymore, and very little fatigue.
Risa, that's amazing.
Love it. Love it. Jackie says, on the prayer team at church, my heart breaks for all those crying out with cancer and other metabolic issues. I want to shake them and say, stop eating the SAD diet. Stop the sugar. Eat meat. Eat fat. But that's not my role. Yeah, I get it. I want to help people and change people and shake people and wake them up too, but they just don't respond when you come at it that way, unfortunately. Yeah. It's why we have an uphill battle.
I think something, though, that I think is really cool just to share. I know we're running out of time, but to share real quickly. I was sharing with Chris, actually, an article yesterday, but there's a country singer, pretty big deal, named Luke Combs, who basically did this big interview with some big magazine. I think it was like People magazine originally. But he basically shared that he struggles with all kinds of mental disorders, and he actually found that eating gluten triggered all these things. Right. And so he's cut gluten out of his diet, and he was kind of describing a little bit in this interview what he started to do. And it basically sounds like meat-heavy keto, without, of course, saying the words for the media. Right. But he was talking about all this, and he talked about the mental clarity and how it did it. And there's another person that we follow who's a big influencer, Cody Johnson, who straight up says, I'm eating the carnivore diet.
Yep.
Has like a mainstream country artist. You have people like Cody Sanchez in the business world who are bringing on people like Dr. Paul Saladino and talking about chemicals. And I mean, there's a movement coming, you guys.
Yep.
It's exciting.
We're all part of this.
Yeah. So I think the people are starting to wake up, and Jackie, you're right. It's heartbreaking, but it's like, just get ready for it though, because I think more people are going to start asking you more questions. Yep. And that's a good thing, because then we can help and save them, and maybe they're more open to hearing what we have to say without us beating them over the head.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Violet says, I told my best friend I was worried about the decline of his health in November 2024. He jumped on Carnivore and has been on fire ever since. He's lost at least 70 pounds since then and still going.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man.
This is how we change the world. Sherry is laughing at my Nevada slips. That I had a kid once called my Nevada Nebrada. Mixed together Nebraska and Nevada. It's fantastic.
Wow, that's funny.
I appreciate this. Gina thinks my face looks thinner.
Aw, I would agree. I told him that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's slimming down.
Little bit at a time. But this is the thing, I'm not like panicked and beating myself up and stepping on a scale every week and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to feel good and be healthy and just let my body, as it heals, bring that stuff down slowly so that it's maintainable.
Yeah.
Sharon says she loves us. We love you too, Sharon. We're really glad you're here. Raw815 is here. I'm type 2 diabetic, generally well managed. Admittedly, I've been making some bad choices lately, so doing a reset. Not going full lion diet, but going to be pretty close. Good for you.
Yeah, good for you for just getting back on. That's awesome.
And let us know how we can support you. You're doing great. Sherry made the biscuits, never made it to the gravy, just ate them with butter and jam, made with buttermilk powder. Now I need to order butter powder to see if there's a difference. Sherry, let me know the difference.
Yeah.
And speaking of jam, I might have a keto something for you guys coming soon.
It's really good too, guys. Yeah. Really good.
John says, 20 years strict vegan, then realizing you were wrong. That's got to be rough. I couldn't imagine staying away from something for so long and finding it was for nothing. Yeah, that's tough, but you know what? Good for you for wrapping your mind around it when you can do stuff like that. That was, what was the Sherry? Sherry and like Pastor Bob and everything. I mean, like that's what real strength looks like, when you do something and then you say, nope, evidence says something else. I'm going to go a different way. That's awesome. Becky Lou is here. Good morning, beautiful family.
Hello,
good morning,
beautiful.
Becky Lou.
Glad you're here.
Beverly says, only one came up, as I usually go and hit the like on both. I'm one of those people that needs computers and websites for dummies instructions. Unfortunately, very unsavvy in this space. Well, that's okay, Beverly.
Right. We're just glad you're here. It's all good.
You
appreciate
are fine. We appreciate you. Charger Mopar says, I feel best between 13 and 14% body fat. Yeah.
Nice.
And I think that's kind of the low end of the normal, the average expected. So that's good.
Yeah.
So when you start getting down below like 12 to 10 and like even down into 7, like that as bodybuilders, I think that's when it's really getting like super low. Let's see. Rick says, I'm too much of an oddball for anyone to take me seriously and be an influencer. I mean, like, listen, Rick, we all love you, but I mean, you do eat iguana on a regular basis. Rick, a lot of people just don't relate to that. As cool as that is, and as much as I would love to eat iguana, there's just not a lot of people that.
But Rick, I'd watch you for the entertainment, to watch you cook the iguana on an engine bed. I'd tune in for that.
That's right. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Lacey says, thank you. I appreciate your thoughts. I personally don't follow this person because the following was very dogmatic.
Well, and again, you'll know them by their fruits. So it tells you right there. It's like,
and that's here's what I will say. An influencer could be one thing or another, but when you go into their community, if their community are a bunch of jerks, probably not someplace I would want to go, because I just don't want to be a part of that.
Well, and it starts from the head down. So if it's someone's community, this is why I am so proud of our community.
Right.
Because we never even have conflict or anything. I mean, I'm sure maybe one day it will happen, but everyone in there is so kind and so supportive, and they just all are just, it's just a beautiful thing to see how all that goes. But we also don't tolerate people that are not that way.
Right. Because
we want people to have a good experience in our community and with us. And that's something we're very particular about. Some people are not.
Absolutely.
You know? So.
Absolutely. Becky Lou says, carnivore now 6 months, down 40 pounds, blood sugars from 150 down to the 80s, off blood sugar meds, brain fog is gone, still battling Hashimoto's, but I'm never going back to SAD. Becky Lou, that's
so
amazing.
So amazing.
And here's the deal, 6 months in, All of that is amazing. The Hashimoto's is just the next thing you can start working on. Make sure to check out Nisha, Dr. Barry's wife, Nurse Nisha. Make sure to look her up because she has Hashimoto's and she uses diet to control it. And she has got some great info on Hashimoto's. So you may have already done so, but if you haven't yet, definitely go do that.
Yeah.
Dustin says, have you been seeing carnivores talking about how you don't really need salt outside of what is already in the meat? You know, I have heard about this, and Dustin is asking me this question because he knows I probably have thoughts on this. So Dustin's poking the bear.
Dustin,
guys,
no.
Guys, here's the deal. Where does it end? Where does it finally end? Now, if you use less salt and you feel better that way, by all means do it. But where does it frickin' end? Mm-hmm. How far are we going to take this thing? Like, is it going to be a thing of, okay, well, so now you shouldn't use salt. Well, okay, so then what's the next shocking thing you do? Well, now you shouldn't cook the meat. It all has to be raw. And I know some people are already doing that. Okay, well, now, if you cut it off the animal and you're not just laying there on the ground with a dead animal that you've ripped open with your hands, eating the meat straight off the carcass, that's no longer good. I mean, like, where does it end? You know, eventually it's like you've got to get over the insanity. If you feel better with salt, eat it with salt. If you feel better without salt, eat it without salt. But this whole thing of you don't need that salt, blah, 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 and like pushing it online, that's for shock value and that's for attention. And influencers like that need to shut up.
Well, they're just leading people astray.
Right.
I mean, and then if you disagree with them, you're wrong, and it just turns into a whole thing.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I think about it. I think it's crazy. If you feel better with no salt, then don't eat salt. If you want to try it, great. We do not need YouTube videos telling everybody how you don't need salt on your meat now. Like okay, I'm going to eat all of my meat without salt. Great. The rest of the world just stopped listening. Mm-hmm. So what good does it do you?
Yeah.
That is a really good example of you will know them by their fruits. Look at me, I'm not eating salt and you shouldn't either. That's about ego and that's about wanting attention. Mm-hmm. Saying, you know what? I'm here to help as many people as possible. If I choose not to eat salt, that's fine, but I'm not going to do shock value stuff to try to convince everyone else that's right. That's the difference, and that's my problem with that.
And there's this thing called common sense. I don't know how many people have heard of that here today, but very important. But, you know, when you're first starting out on a proper human diet, like I know for me, having a lot of salt when I first got started was a big life changer. Yeah. Now, maybe if I continue this way of eating for 10 to 20 years, maybe I find, maybe I don't need as much. You know, like I know Rick, who has been carnivore forever and eternity. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like most of his life, he started when he was a teenager. So I think he's been a carnivore since the 80s. He can correct me if I'm wrong by remembering that. But Rick said that he doesn't drink electrolytes.
Right.
He's to a point where he's been carnivore for so long that it's like he just doesn't need them. And that's awesome. But for the rest of us who have not been a carnivore, you know, for, 30, however many years, it's like, hey, we maybe need the salt. At times we need more. Right? So, again, just common sense, known by our fruit. So, if this guy's saying you can't have salt, well, it's like, well, if you tell that to someone who's just starting out, they're going to experience fatigue and cramps and this and that, and it starts all these things. So, but also it's a very different attitude when someone says, hey, so here's science and here's information, and so right now we need you to have some salt and go ahead and have some more electrolytes and have this and that because this is science and this is that. And then here's some doofus, okay, who's like, look at me. I have a six-pack. I don't eat salt. I'm so great. That's putting himself above basically everyone else to say, well, see, I'm such a real carnivore. I don't have salt. Yep. So let's just use common sense and let's decide, like, look at an influencer, whatever that means, and say, man, I get what this guy's saying, and he's providing common sense and facts and science to back it up. Yep. Or here's a guy who maybe does or does not have a real six-pack who's talking about how he's so much better than everyone else because he doesn't put salt. Also, not a good bragging thing because salt is tasty. Yeah. Like, I don't want to eat no bland food. No. Yeah. Anyway, no. That's my 2 cents. We just need to use common sense, guys. Yep. Common sense. Yep. For the win.
Great question, Dustin. Thanks for firing us up there.
That's my buddy.
Suzanne says it's all about how you feel about yourself, not to be a skinny model, but a healthy human being.
Absolutely.
Totally agree. And Dustin's the same way when it comes to who he works with or decides to offer what he decides to offer to people who watch his content.
Absolutely.
We don't do it for the money. We do it because we believe in it.
Does that mean Dustin likes us? Because I feel like we get to work with Dustin a lot.
Yep, that's right.
He likes us. This is good.
That's right. Risa is sick of all the YouTube commercials featuring influencers trying to sell hacks for losing weight. 3-ingredient hack to drop 2 sizes. It's really irritating. I agree with you.
Yeah, it is.
I agree with you. Oh, and there's our friend Terry. Terry, my terrific life. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to Terry. She's going to be doing some really cool stuff. She's also going to be in a video this coming Saturday with us. She was a taste tester, so... Claire much prefers to follow more down-to-earth YouTubers, irritated by the more militant or the "look how amazing I am" show-off ones. I agree. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in real people because real people is what the world is made up of. And here's the deal: if you're an influencer and you're showing off how great your life is, that's not real.
Right.
It's not. It's not real. It is. It is. I'm sorry. It's not real. Prove to me it's real. It's not. Sherry discovered while trying to replace the creamer with cleaner store-bought ones that she hates stevia. Horrible aftertaste for me.
Yeah.
I know you have issues with stevia too.
Yeah, they give me migraines and everything, so I have to stay real clear of that. I'm super sensitive. So, poor Sherry.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why Lacey uses heavy cream. Agape says, 805 days keto carnivore lion. Lost no weight but gained my life pain-free. Memory, brain clarity. A1C went from 13 to last November 5.5. I've shared my info. My BFF lost 130 pounds and healing.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's just amazing. Like, just incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible.
Very cool.
Trish is talking about stevia glycinate does not have the bitter aftertaste. Might want to check it out if you don't find another substitute sweetener. Yeah, I agree. The stevia glycinate might work. This is the reason I use allulose, because I don't use much sweetener, but if I use anything, allulose is my preference.
Absolutely.
So it works the most like sugar for cooking and that kind of stuff. So just a bunch of stuff. Agape just made the mashed potatoes. Turned out great. Thank you. Healing is a journey for me. I'm thrilled to hear others' results. Awesome. Absolutely, and I'm so glad you enjoy those. Let's see. Sonny, Dustin, do you or Chris have a link for Salty? Was thinking about getting some, but want to give someone the credit before I do. Yes, Sonny, I have a link in the description box. I believe Dustin also has one if you're on his channel, but in the description box down below is a link. You can click it. It'll take you right to the website and it'll give you a discount, and it gives me credit for the sale. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you, Sonny. Great question.
Absolutely. Dustin gave us another $2 chat. Says, "Yay, we're friends forever." Dustin, you're so sweet. Yes, we are friends forever. Yes. We appreciate Dustin very, very much. So.
Yes, love it.
Let's see. We're gonna wrap this up here in just a minute, guys. So if you got any last minute, final, important questions, make sure to get them in. Trish says Bob buys her YouTube Premium as a Christmas gift every year. That's awesome. That's a great gift. Yeah, that's awesome. That way you don't have to watch the ads, and we still get paid. We appreciate
Everybody wins.
I love this. Holly Springer says CCN, the home for carnivore and keto empaths.
True.
Yes.
Very true.
Absolutely. Violet says Ben Bickman gave a great talk about the importance of salt. See? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is great. My mom says, I'm behind in stream, still wanted to share my why. A1C was 8.8 a year ago, then 8.1 6 months ago. Last week it was 6.7. Acceptable for a diabetic.
Oh, that's
and she's
great.
Currently a diabetic, but we're going to get that reversed.
That's right.
It's going down.
Yeah.
John says, I know when I first started, I used tons of salt. Now just a little bit with my meals, and 1 salty a day works for me.
There you go.
It's great.
That's so exciting, guys. So exciting.
I love this. Lacey's like, LOL, just breathe. You'll get everything you'll need.
There you go.
You know there are things out there that are called aeritarians, that they believe that if you get your body clean enough, you can live off of air.
Huh.
Yeah, you don't actually need food.
Huh. Who knew?
You guys want to talk about insanity amongst influencers? There you go.
Yeah. Well, what I want to know is how much does that product cost?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Dustin says, yeah, it seems like there's a continuous push to go further and further. I agree. And I stand against that crap because it's one thing if you're going further and further to improve your own health. It's another thing if you're going further and further to shock people to get your YouTube channel to make more money. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, no, we don't do that. Jerry is here, says, how you think it will be at Meat Stock with the majority of carnivore folks there? It'll be interesting to see how that goes. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that we're going, and I think we're going to have a great time.
Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be super good, super good. We're only responsible for ourselves. I mean, that's just the truth of it. Like, we represent ourselves. We represent who we are. We represent Christ. We just go in and we do our thing, and we just kind of let people be themselves.
Yep.
I mean, like,
Absolutely.
we're not in control of anything. We're just there.
That's right.
We're asked to be there just to be ourselves, whether that's good, bad, ugly, and we just kind of roll with it.
I love this. John says, I judge how much salt by what tastes good. If it tastes like it needs salt, I add salt. And you know what?
Great.
Dr. Barry talks about this. You have this very expensive, highly developed piece of technology to tell you how much salt you need in your diet.
Yep. Yeah.
If it's too salty, you don't need the salt. If it's not salty enough, you need more salt.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
There you go.
You know? And if you feel good eating less salt and it tastes good to you, eat less salt. It's very simple. I don't think we need like influencers doing whole videos on this. Like, it's a very straightforward concept.
I think people say, "Oh, I love a Lion diet, meat, salt, water," because it's so simple and all that. And it's like, yeah, it is. But do you see how then people then start to take this idea and they make it more and more complicated and they add all these different things to then make money off of this and blah 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 blah. It's like, use common sense.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, don't be taken advantage of.
And Lacey says the problem is that people like that prey on people who don't know any better. That's what's really sad. And that is why my voice is so loud about this stuff, because I'm not here to try to stop other people from doing what they do. I'm here to try to get the right information to people who need it, because we're trying to help people. That's what we're here for. And she says, and like Chris said, they basically turn into a cult.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. Rick says since 1983.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought, which is awesome.
Very,
super
very cool. I love this. Jerry, salt? Shoot, I need a pickle.
Oh, man.
And see, even Rick is like, I tell people when they start the carnivore diet after a plant-based or standard diet, you might want to consider supplementation, right? Because you have to transition over and you're going to deal with all that flushing. So, Trish, I am salt and light. What an amazing, amazing comment.
I love that, Trish.
Love it. Love it. Rick says even cows need salt.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Winning with the common sense,
Sonny
guys.
says, taste tester for Chris's food, Lucky Terry.
Well,
yes.
Well, Sonny, if you would like to be a taste tester, just come up when you're in Nashville. Just hit us up.
Anyone who was like, hey, I'd love to be a taste tester in a Chris Cooking Nashville video, send me an email. Let me know if you're going to be around Nashville. Come on over for dinner. We'll feed you.
Yeah. You can taste test away. Gives me a kind of a little bit of a day off. I just hang out behind the camera.
That's right.
It's good stuff.
That is correct. Sherry says, I don't drink electrolytes either and never have. I have no issues with cramping. I only drink tea, coffee, and water, though, so no soda pop or sugar drinks ever. Yeah, and this thing, some people need electrolytes, some don't. I get bad leg cramps if I don't have enough magnesium, so that's why I still supplement. I also still have a lot of weight to lose, so there's a lot of inflammation that's still going to be coming off my body over time, and with that goes electrolytes. So it's a thing.
For women, too, depending on where you're at in your month with your cycle and all, certain weeks out of the month, I actually intentionally will drink more salt and more electrolytes because my body needs them.
Absolutely.
So it's just different for different people.
Kel is here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Kel.
Hello.
Good to see you. Jerry says, 3-ingredient bread, egg white powder, water, sour cream. You don't need anything but an oven. Love
funny.
it. Sonny says, I'm a goofball. I was looking for a salty link, not Keto Chow. I found it. Yeah, they have a single link that does both on the same website, so you're good.
Yeah.
John says, we're going to wrap this up 20 minutes later, still going. Yeah, listen.
However, I'm about to get him off. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does soon really mean?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Agape says, rolling. I'm assuming that's rolling on the floor, laughing, basically. Rolling on laughing my butt off.
Yes.
I don't know what the second is.
I think it's,
I'm doing me. Others can do themselves. In my electrolytes, I've added B12, salt use, Redmond's, Celtic sea salt, and pink Himalayan. I use as I choose.
That's
and I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trish says, someone tuck me in when Chris stops talking today. Listen, people get me going.
Yeah.
People get me going.
They do.
Mary at Greek Carnivore is here. Hello, Chris and Ash. Love that you both are not dogmatic regarding this way of eating. I really appreciate your kindness and support that you provide. I love salt on my food.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
Love it.
We're glad you're here, friends.
Rebecca Good is here. Says, I just learned too little calories does damage as well. Doctors have had me on 1,200 calories for 30 years. Minimal for maintaining health for an adult is 1,600 a day. Yep. And that's there's a whole rabbit hole on calories. But Rebecca, I'm glad you're figuring out what works for you.
Yes, good for you.
Yep. Heal your body. Heal your body.
Absolutely.
This taste also tells me when I've eaten enough bacon too.
True.
Cat Mom is here. The Airtarians can lay down on their flat earth and absorb nutrients. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Way to put it. Just kind of scrolling through here. Cat Mom gave us a super sticker. Thank you so much for the $2 super sticker.
So sweet. Thank you so much.
Terry says, yes, I'm so lucky. Just finished the leftovers and still lost another pound this past week.
Good for
How
you.
cool is that?
Come on, that's awesome.
So wait a minute, not doing carnivore by just eating a steak with salt, you can have still recipes and still lose weight if that works for your body specifically?
That's awesome. Good for you, Terry. That's amazing, friend. So good.
That's awesome. Lacey says, my husband had some possible nerve damage to his arms from working on our house for 3 years. I put him on a magnesium supplement last month, and they have been feeling way better.
Oh, wonderful.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love this. Terry says, sorry, not lucky. I'm blessed. It's been a blessing meeting Chris and Ash.
Aww.
Terry, you are a blessing to us. And we really, I'm serious, we really want you to come back for dinner again.
Yes,
because we had a great time with you being here.
Please do.
Yeah. If you guys come over to our house, you just become family. So. Jerry has subbed to Terry's channel, as you suggested last week. Excellent.
Please. Yes, wonderful.
John says, you guys watched The Chosen first season. Jesus said soon is a very interesting word. It's one of my favorite shows.
It's literally where I got that from, is the word soon. Yeah.
Love it.
Such a great show.
Absolutely love it. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We have a very important meeting coming up today. I know everyone has been asking about a cookbook. We're having a meeting today, and hopefully if we can get some details finalized in this meeting, I think we're going to start.
Yeah.
I think this meeting is the last one to kind of get all the details worked out of how this is going to happen, and we can start, and we'll update you with details as we know. So you guys keep on watching everything, because we're going to have a bunch of stuff that's coming soon. The cooking crash course is going to be coming. We'll keep you updated on that. I'm also working on details to do a meetup in Nashville. If you guys would be willing to come to Nashville for a meetup, let me know. Drop it in the comments, in the live chat, or in the comments of this video after, whatever. Tell us if you would be willing to come for a meetup so I can start planning sometime, hopefully maybe later this summer. My dog is... Sit down and shut up. My dog is a pain in the butt.
She just knocked a bunch of stuff over.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So we are going to be working on the details for a meetup. Let us know if you would love to be there for that. That'll be a blast. And of course, when we have the meetup, I'll be cooking for everybody. That's an element of this. So let us know if that's something you would be interested in. And we will be going all sorts of places with all different kinds of things coming. The private group is linked down below. We would love to see you there, and we could just be more involved in supporting you and have you involved in supporting us, because we need support too. So I think that's everything.
Yes. We'll be here next Monday, same time, 10 a.m. Central, and then tomorrow night you're going to be cooking us dinner.
Yep. Tomorrow night we'll be doing dinner, and we'll be doing, what did I say I was going to do tomorrow night?
You're going to do something with the biscuits.
That's right. We're going to do biscuit and country fried steak sandwiches with white gravy. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to show you a way to do that to have something really cool. So tune in tomorrow night for the country fried steak and biscuit sandwiches. That's going to be amazing. And we're going to go film a video later today.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good, and it's going to be related to the one coming out with Terry this Saturday.
Yes.
So I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. because I haven't even told the band what that is yet. So
Right.
the band will be the first to know, but we're going to be doing some really cool stuff. So all my links are down below. We appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We love every single one of you. This is Chris Cook in Nashville. My beautiful wife, Ash Taylor. You guys make sure to eat your meat. Love your life. We'll see you here in the studio for more motivation, down in the kitchen for more recipes, and we appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday.